This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Sport.
AFL. On ABC Radio.
On digital. And ABC Listen.
Look for the AFL button.
Welcome to the MCG as two arch rivals face off for a final in July. Collingwood have turned the corner after the bye, winning their last 4 clashes to move up to 9th spot on the AFL ladder, but they have a tough run to September if they get there. Well, the Blues under Josh Fraser have turned the corner. They won 7 games on the bounce before losing to Hawthorn last week. And the former number 1 pick for the Magpies, desperate to try and get Carlton back to the promised land. Hello, welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the AFL. It's Matt Clinch with you for ABC Sport. As the Blues make their way out onto the MCG, they are wearing a heritage jersey tonight, paying tribute to 1926. So this was voted on by the Carlton fans, and in the end, this was the one in which they decided to wear. So predominantly blue with the old school white monogram on the front, and the Magpies are just a few moments away. 3 changes for Collingwood. Quainer, Harrison and West come in with injuries to Jeremy Howe and to Lockie Schultz, while Buller has been dropped. While for the Blues, they make 3 changes as well. Akers, Reedy and Lord come in. The Blues' last win against the Magpies was in round 19, 2023, and Collingwood have won 16 of the last 20 clashes. Lauren Borden to call the action alongside me. Welcome to you, Loz.
Hello, Clinchy. It's wonderful to be here. It's always a big night when Carlton played Collingwood. More than 80,000 expected to come into the MCG. These two sides have played 22 finals along the years that they've each been versing each other in this competition. 6 of them were grand finals, but they haven't played in a final since 1988. So it's amazing when you think of this rivalry that continues. There's a whole nother generation that's, I guess, never seen these sides at their peak when they're taking on each other, but still this rivalry stays there, and you can feel it in the buzz when you come into the ground of the fans spilling in tonight.
You hear from players in the lead-up for the match. Nick Dacos still thinks Collingwood can go all the way. Patrick Cripps thinks there'll be nothing better than beating Collingwood as they continue their charge. So the 270th time tonight, Collingwood have won 136 times, the Blues 129, and there has been 4 draws, last in 1972. The coaching icon, he coached both Collingwood and Carlton. Mick Moldhouse is with you tonight. Welcome to you, Mick. Great to see you.
Matt, and all to our listeners, this should be an absolutely intriguing game. Last week, we know Carlton, and it was very hard to win a lot of games. We've seen that with Fremantle a couple of weeks ago, drop after the 13th game. But even a side like Carlton, they at some stage they were going to lower their colours, and they did. So it'll be interesting to see how they rebound. Collingwood, yes, I've admired Collingwood for a long, long time, clearly, and one of the things I admire about them most, they're never beaten, and they can be 5 down. They'll try to turn that 5 into 4 very quickly, into 3 and 2, and all of a sudden the side gets the wobbles. They will miss players that are out of the side. I'll be intrigued, and I think the games are always won in the middle of the game and by your bottom and top 6. And I would say if Dacos finished last week, he'd still win the Brownlow. That's how good he is. So My interest will be to see what Carlton do about it, because most clubs don't do anything and they pay a massive penalty. I think that the reliance on Dacos is a little bit unhealthy. He's created it because he's so good, and it's not his fault. But this will be interesting to see whether or not Carlton can at least limit that, and then see where Collingwood go.
He leads the ABC Footballer of the Year by 7 votes from Marcus Bontempelli, the AFL Coaches Association Award by 18 votes. And Josh Fraser, the former number 1 draft pick who played under you, Mick, now the coach of the Blues in an interim capacity. How it would be for him if he was able to get a win for the Blues against the Magpies tonight?
Well, I'm sure Josh will say every game's the same sort of game. Let me tell you, I've coached, my first coaching game was Footscray playing Richmond. And I just finished playing for Richmond. So I got a feeling that, I couldn't have tried any harder because I didn't have any history before it as far as coaching goes, but I was pretty keen to win the game. And I'm sure that Josh will go, I think I know Collingwood's game plan. I think Craig McRae was actually said that they look very Collingish. So, but I reckon Josh will probably put his own touch on it a bit. Josh is a laid-back sort of person. I reckon it would have hurt him last week to know what the difference is between winning and losing. As a player, you know that pretty quickly. As a coach, he's broken all sorts of records to get. I think it'll be very hard for an interim coach to win 7 in a row like he has. But the taste of loss compared to taste of victory is extreme. So I think he would like to retaste that victory against his old side.
Alongside Mick Moldhouse tonight, great to have Cal Sinclair, former Sydney Swan West Coast Eagle, is tonight the night Cal, if Josh Fraser's Blues beat the Magpies, that he puts up his hand and says, you know what, I'm ready to apply for the job if it's going.
I certainly hope so. If he doesn't go for it, I might throw my hat in the ring. Sounds like everyone's out there. But Clinchy, good to see you. Our Saturdays aren't really the same at the moment.
They're not at the
You're
moment.
Driving out to VFL football together and
we'll reunite
solving
soon.
problems, Mick, as me and Clinchy do. And Lauren, great to see you. It was lovely to meet your parents earlier. Thought they would have brought in some scones or something, or some banana bread. But anyway, we'll let them off. But no, very excited to be here. And Mick, great to be working with you tonight. We did a game probably over a year ago now in Sydney, and hopefully you remember this, but you and Ben Cameron went to the zoo before the game. Do you remember that?
I don't like wasting time, so we're over there and I'm thinking, well, you know, the ABC gets you up there in case there's a fog or something where the planes can't get in. I think, I'm not going to sit around for 10 hours and wait for a game. I said to Benny, find me the best way to the zoo.
Taronga.
And I said, he said, well, I'll come with you. So we caught ferries and buses and everything else. We ended up all around the bay to get there, and it was quite fantastic, quite frankly. And then, of course, we got to the game just on time, which that's fine. That's what you do, but don't waste time in life. Do something with it.
It's great to be working with you again. And I actually agree. I was thinking on the drive in, the reliance on Nick Dacos is actually pretty significant. Not that it's getting on the verge of it, Mick. If it goes another sort of 12 months, it kind of be a little bit unhealthy to have him as... You just feel like they're not going to win the game unless he's having 40 and kicking 3 at the moment. Maynard, you know, I think he's actually been terrific since obviously having that nasty shoulder injury as well. And one guy I'm really interested in watching tonight is Charlie West. I just feel like there's been a lot of talk about Collingwood's forward line, and I guess maybe they're not quite up to it yet. And he sat in the VFL, Clinchy. You and I have watched him a little bit this year. He's been pretty serviceable at VFL level. You just feel like, Nick, he's probably one of those guys that, and you'd be an interesting person to ask, like, you kind of need to give him like 6 to 8 games in a row to really, really feel comfortable at the level. I don't know if you can do that sort of these days in the situation they're in, but I feel like for him personally, if he got that opportunity, I think he'd probably really thrive in that.
Look, as a coach, you've got to there's such a thing as called gut feel. There's all sorts of statistics that fly around this sort of stuff. As a coach, right or wrong, you've got to have a bit of a gut feel, and you've got to have a gut feel to say, look, I think he's ready now, or he's not ready now, or it's going to take some time. And you make mistakes. Look, I coached for 30-odd years, and let me tell you, I made mistakes, but the ones you don't make are the ones that you like, there's a young bloke by the name of Alan Tuvey. Is a classic case with me that, he's not kicking well, he doesn't read the play well, this and stuff. But there was something about Alan Tuvey. I said, look, we've just got to hang in there. And I remember giving his first game, he was a backline, half-back, we got him into half-back. His first game was actually tagging half forward, and he tagged one of our own, Brett Delidio, and he kicked 4.
Right.
He kicked 4. Now, he probably didn't kick 4 for the next 40 games. So it was a once-off, but what it did, it proved to me that that's the sort of player that you wind up and you say, there's your role, and look, right through his whole career. So if you're going to... I look at Polkinghorne last night for Geelong and go...
He was good.
Where's he been? Where's he been?
And Clinchy.
He's been in the VFL, but he's been ready to get his opportunity when it came around.
That's exactly right. So when those opportunities arise and you say, now go for it. Now what he does, he now goes, well, if Neil's not kicking goals and Cameron's out of the side, I can actually contest the football. So, a bloke like West, he's up there. McStay's not more than a 4-goal. Look, if he kicks 5 tonight, Collingwood win by 10 goals.
I think they've been harsh on McStay. Like, he's come off an ACL.
I realise that.
His delivery hasn't been great either.
Players get that. But what I'm saying is, if he kicks 5,
sure,
it's not in his armoury. He's a 3 to 4 goal at best. If he kicks the others, that's fantastic. That's what I'm saying. If he kicks 5, they win by 10 goals.
Yeah.
But to take pressure off him, you've got to have other players around him. And look, I'm probably wrong in saying about Nick Dacos, because I think that we underestimate what his brother's like and how he gets freed up. I couldn't believe North Melbourne the last time I was watching Collingwood North, which was last week.
Yeah.
And he sat off the pack 15 metres off and was fed back like a quarterback without any sort of resistance. And you think, well, what are people thinking about? Because they say Houston's their best kick. No, Houston's a long kick. Dacos, Josh, can put it through the eye of a needle anywhere between 10, or these days 10, they count 10 as 15, up to 60 metres. So there's another one that is an absolute beauty. So we're getting off West here, but West is the sort of player that may help out their forward line because there's no Elliott, there's no Schultz, different sort of players. So therefore you've got to get different ways of kicking goals. You know what it's like kicking goals. I mean, you get presented, you've got to go for it.
That is the challenge for tonight. Mick Malthouse alongside Cal Sinclair, Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden to call the action. Charlie West leads the way in the goal kicking for the VFL with 23 goals, 13 from his 11 games. He comes in for Jack Buller, so it's sort of one in, one out at the moment for Craig McRae. He's described his forward line a bit as licorice, all sorts as they try and get the combination right. But yeah, Dan McStay leads the way for Collingwood with 29 goals for the season. That's a career best for him, beating 28 goals in 2021. So he's having an individual great season, but not quite to the level in which Collingwood need him to have, especially with the injuries to Jamie Elliott and, of course, now to Lachie Schultz. And yet the Blues also have their own problems in the forward 50. They're relying on Harry Mackay. He's kicked 22 goals so far this season from 16 games, and Mitch McGovern, who's out of contract at season's ends, has 28 goals from 17. So trying to get the right chemistry from both sides, if they can get the opportunities inside 50, will play a large part in deciding who will finish in front tonight, Cal.
Yeah, and it comes down to the method of delivery. And I hate saying it, but you are reliant on your midfield as a forward, and I know I'm biased. I played a lot there during my football career, so I think neither team has probably had the benefit of great connection this year, and I think that's probably hurt both the forward lines of both teams. But look, another one for me, you know, I'm really, really curious to see Dan Houston. You spoke about him a little bit, Mick, and I listened to some commentary earlier in the week that I tend to agree with around he's playing very, very differently, or he's been asked to play differently from what he was at Port Adelaide, where he really could just sit behind the pack, be that quarterback role. But the defence of Collingwood have got such a terrific and compliant system. He's having to defend really a lot more than he probably had to at Port Adelaide. So I think there's been, I guess, at times criticism on Dan Houston. He never hasn't met the form of where he was at Port Adelaide, but he's in a completely different system. It feels like he had a lot more freedom at Port Adelaide to really dictate where he positioned himself, Mick. And I think with Collingwood and their defence, they're a lot more of a compliant system, and he has to probably, you know, play that way. And since doing that, he's probably, you know, had some effects of his statistics, I'd say.
No, I agree with you. I thought his first year was quite poor because he was trying to do what he did at Port.
It's hard to do, yeah.
But I have no doubt in the last 18 months, he's been a very, very impressive player. I'm only using him as an example because I don't think he reads the play as well as Josh Dacos, and I don't think he kicks the short ball as well as him, but he kicks the long ball better than probably anyone on the ground. I'm not trying to say he's not a good footballer by any stretch. I just think that Josh Dacos, he's there. If there's such a word to say, sets the play up. Let's say quarterback on the back line. He does it as well as anyone. Whereas Nick, we know, can use it all over the ground and probably the most effective kick in the competition when you analyse Josh Dacos. Nick Dacos. So both Dacoses come with a father that was pretty. I think he was a harsh marker, and they've lived up to what he wanted. So,
can I ask you a question? Do you think Collingwood would have thought Dan Houston would cut teams up with the ball a bit more than what he kind of is capable of?
Early on, yes.
Yeah.
I think now they've accepted what they've got as a player that's very handy.
Yeah.
Probably not as direct and as maybe not as good as but not far off. I just think that you've got to be very careful how you sort of weigh up players from other clubs coming to your place.
I'm hoping we might get a chance to ask you a bit about that in the post-game, because Craig McRae has said Collingwood's change in approach is not to just prioritise players, that he needs draft picks as well, and that the initial strategy by Justin Lepage to try and bring in the likes of Harry Perryman and Dan Houston, that they now need to try and prioritise not only the now but the future as well. And tonight they'll be without Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe, and they're almost without Billy Frampton, who was suspended during the week but managed to get off at the tribunal, so he is out there tonight. Collingwood are also wearing a retro jumper tonight, a throwback to the 90s, in which it's predominantly black with a thin white strip and the shield on the front of the jumper. So this was their away jersey for some time, so I think there's enough of a distinction between the two. Collingwood in the white shorts and the Blues in the blue. Poppy Penny's on the boundary for us tonight. Welcome to you, Poppy.
I'm very happy to be on the boundary this Saturday night, not last Saturday night. There's clear skies, beautiful weather. It's 9 degrees in Melbourne. It's been a glorious day. I'll admit I like the collar on the Carlton jumper a little bit. I think that's a nice little nod, but the crest on the front of the Collingwood jumper is fantastic. Nick Dacos won the toss for the Pies, and they will be kicking to the city end, which is the right of your radio dial tonight. So it's absolutely beautiful down here, and the crowd is enormous already.
Over 80,000 expected at the MCG for the 270th time. Collingwood and Carlton. Here's Lauren Borden.
An excellent night for a big crowd at the MCG as the ball is tossed in the centre of the G. It's taken by Allen. He's taken to the turf. And it's Reedy who pulls him down. The big ruckman, 204 centimetres into the side for the Blues. He moves it on to Walsh, there, who puts it out to left half forward. Was looking for Akers, tries to get his way to the footy and move off Lipinski. Lipinski gets there first, can't do anything with the ball. And then Hayward takes his spun around in a tackle by Quaynor, who's back in the side after an ankle injury, pulls him to the turf. And the umpire will toss it up right in front of the Carlton benches. No score yet, early stages of the opening term.
Thrown up in front of the two benches. Reedy tries to palm it down. Slapped away by Ned Long. To go, he races after it along the boundary line. Knocks it forward and then sockets it up towards half forward. Cowan will get to the footy first of the Blues. Hand pass inboard. Able to feed it to Wilson. Awesome contact as well. Hand pass to Florent. Gets it to Akers. Across half back. Jagger Smith kicks up the wing. On the bounce for Hayward. He gathers in front of the two benches and loops the kick over looking for Patrick Cripps. He marks in front of Josh Dacos. Hand pass to Reedy into the pocket. A player on his own. It's Mitch McGovern. He marks in the left forward pocket in front of the Olympic stand. Now he spots something he likes. He centres it for Kemp. And he marks slightly left of centre, 40 metres out from home.
I'm biased, Mick, but a handball received to a ruckman, you must admit. It was a good disposal.
It was.
It was good.
He read it. Well, lucky he was in motion. That's all I'll say. Hello to David in Spain, who is now listening to us in
Getting
Spain.
Us loud and clear on the ABC Listen app. So great to have you joining us tonight. 0437 774 774. Kemp for the opening goal of the night for the Blues. He misses to the left-hand side as it just drifts from right to left, and the chance to start on a high goes begging. Carlton by a point through 2 minutes. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Here is Houston to take the kick in for Carlton. He'll use the members' side of the ground and pop it long to a pack that'll form. Again, Reedy's there. He's in a tussle with Cameron. He might have held on a little and tugged the jumper, and Darcy Cameron will win the free for the Pies. Holding on to it at right half back. So plenty of ankle injuries across the season, playing a little sore, but just thumps it on his boot to get it down. He was looking for Membry, who tapped it towards Lipinski. A nice hand pass across to Anderson, right half forward, dabs it into the forward pocket. In sliding to take the mark is McStay. And he'll have a set shot at goal. Tough angle, right forward pocket, but slid in beautifully to clunk the mark.
Yeah, well played by Collingwood too. Once they get out the back, they go for it. Carlton, but I reckon they've been...
Snaps around the body, curls it through for the opener. The Pies move ahead off the boot of McStay. And it's 1 straight 6, playing Carlton just the one behind, 3 minutes played in the opening term, Mick.
Well, that could be 1 of 5.
Yes.
If he kicks 5, they win by 10. I'll tell you now. So, but what I'll say about Carlton, if there's a thing over the last couple of seasons, if you get out the back on Carlton, they don't have a lot of mechanisms that stop. That they're all up on one line. They don't drop someone in behind that line. And Collingwood, whether they know it or not, they've obviously discussed it a lot closer than what I would from here. So once to go, he kicked that ball off the ground. They knew they had numbers running. Carlton come and met the football. The ball went over the top. Collingwood had ample opportunity then to pick the football up and use that ball and use it correctly.
Good for his confidence. Like,
yes.
He probably had a clunky first 18 months with the footy club.
Yes.
Kemp misses at one end. McStay capitalises at the other. Back in the middle of the ground. Reedy one down the tap. Walsh can't get a clearing hand pass away. And Jagger Smith is locked up in the middle of the ground. De Goey and Nick Dacos in the centre square for Collingwood. Jagger Smith squeezes the kick out to the members' wing. The Blues lead the foot race. Hayward gets there first. Shepherded by Chera. Hand pass inboard to Cripps. Gives it back to Chera. Around Quaynor. Looks to half forward. Jiving forward. Kemp can't take the mark on the half volley. Puncher comes racing in. The mid-season pickup and lays the tackle in his third game of AFL footy. And a ball up 45 metres out from the Blues goal.
Palm down by Cameron, who puts it into the path of Walsh of the Blues, though. Hand passes it to Mackay, hand pass to Evans. He fires out a hand pass to Florent, who kicks it into the right pocket, just goes over the top of Ainsworth. Can't mark. McGovern's there to pick it up. Uses a fend off, hand passes it to Ainsworth, right forward pocket, tries to just dribble its way through the goal, but Cameron's there on the last line, stops it from going through for a dribbling goal. Another behind for the Blues. Collingwood leading by 4 points, 5 minutes played in the first.
Conditions-wise, there's no excuse tonight. It's dry, well-temperatured out there. There's a incredible walk coming in, Mick.
Nick Dacos does the kick-ins, gets 3 touches as he gets it from half-back. Kicked it in, received the hand pass back, links up across half-back, gets the hand pass inboard to Goey, breaks the tackle in the end to Patrick Cripps, into the pocket, great pass. Dan McStay marks, and Nick Dacos lighting up the half-back line, and Jordan Goey breaking tackles.
Yeah, not good signs. The ease in which Collingwood were able to kick that ball, find a target, and then no one running with Nick Dacos. I mean, the bloke must be invisible. We're the only ones that probably can see this over the last 3 seasons, because teams refuse to run with him, and I just beggars belief.
Dan McStay in the right forward pocket, 35 metres out for the opening 2 goals of the game. Collingwood fans find full voice as they take their chances, and the Blues have missed theirs. 2 straight 12 Collingwood. They both come through Dan McStay. He's now up to 31 goals for the season. To Carlton, 2 behinds. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. You're with Mick Moldhouse and Cal Sinclair.
I take your point, Mick. Carlton's midfield, you got Chera, Hewitt, Cripps, Walsh, all played enough footy. Smith, all played enough footy now. Smith, you might give him a pass, albeit he's had an outstanding year. They're all mature enough players now to go, one of us is going to Nick at stoppages. One of us can't let him get handball receives. And I reckon that's going to be a real test for Carlton's
absolutely.
Tonight to actually get it sorted against him.
Yeah. Well, it's no use saying it's a team effort, because they all look at each other and go, well, it wasn't me, I wasn't close enough. It's really...
Give it to someone.
Bizarre.
Liam Reedy rose up, but it was Cameron who took the clearance and just thumped it inside forward 50 for the Blues. Pendlebury has a go at it, can't quite gather it. McStay's there, hand passes it away. There's plenty of congestion, goes through the legs of Cowan, spills back to Pendlebury. He hand passes backwards, but Evans can pick it up for the Blues. Hand passes it to Chera, hand pass to Dean, hand pass to Walsh, who has to hurry a kick to the edge of the centre square. Everyone waits really in the end for Reedy to pick it up for the Blues. They might be able to move it forward here, although Ainsworth is wrapped up in a tackle, pulled to the turf, and it's a free kick coming the way of Allen, who has it on the AFL logo. We can check in with Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Josh Dacos went down to the rooms early in this quarter, but has come up and is sitting at the front of the bench, so that's one to watch for today.
Thanks, Poppy. Jack Crisp kicks inside forward 50 for Collingwood. It's sport away from West and goes out of play as Turkson sees it out for a throw-in. So Josh Dacos to the bench in the early few minutes. Nick Dacos has had 4 disposals. George Hewitt going to him at the stoppage, but like Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller, when you do the kick-ins, it's hard to stop when they can get consecutive touches. Thrown in, forward line 50 for the Pies. Reedy over the bat, wins the tap against Cameron. Hewitt gets the hand pass away to Wilson. Side steps around Ed Allen, kicks the Blues up to half back. Mackay's in the pack, Kemp as well. Kemp gathers as it hits the deck, gets the hand pass away to Ainsworth. Inboard to Mackay, ran into his own teammate Walsh. Collingwood take it back to Goey, to Allen, drives it towards the goal square. Up goes the competing efforts from West, can't take the mark. And the reinforcements get back. Wilson gathers for the Blues, chips it out to Cowan in the back pocket.
Cowan with a short one further in the right forward pocket is able to find Akers, who kicks it out very close to the boundary line, but Byrne does mark for Carlton. Had the shot after the siren when these two sides met earlier in the season, wasn't able to convert. It was just his 4th game of footy though. A little bit more experience now heading into round 19 as Carlton work it all along the outer wing. The kick comes to Pack where the 2 rucks are, and Reedy loses out to Cameron. And Cameron holds on to it, left half back for Collingwood, a little bit indecisive about where to go, and decides short is the best option. Just out to Swadling, close to the boundary line, chips it forward to Perryman.
That was fantastic work together. Frampton and Cameron working together. They squeezed the ruckman of Carlton right out of that play. Magnificent teamwork.
Perryman sends it to left half forward where the ball will drop, picked up by Ainsworth. His hand pass is to no one in particular. It allows an in for Harrison of the Pies. Hand pass to Membry, who just squares it up, goes backwards but finds Allen. He gets told to play on. Hand passes it to Nick Dacos. 55 metres out from goal. Centering ball from Dacos goes right into the hands of Dean.
I can't believe I'm being critical of Nick Dacos here, but calling for the ball on the wrong side of your body, just felt like, no, he's a great user, but...
Oh, Dean tried to roll the dice, missed Frankie Evans, taken by Houston. Hand pass to Maynard, kick looking for to go, he missed him. Membry gathers, curls towards goal, another one for Collingwood. The opening 3 goals of the game as Tim Membry joins Dan McStay with 2 goals. And Collingwood are off to the fast start. 3 straight 18 to the Blues, 2 behinds. 10 minutes gone in the opening term. The inside 50s, the way of the Magpies, 7-2. As we check in down with Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Harry Mackay's just come off with a physio and he looks pretty frustrated and pretty cross, so he's going to receive some treatment. And Paddy Cripps was having his back looked at, so was trying to stretch that out. He's gone back on, but he doesn't look comfortable. And Mackay's just going down to the rooms now.
Yeah, Mackay, I don't know. He must have fallen down the race because he hasn't been near the ball. The Collingwood main players are getting the ball. Nick Dacos, De Goey, Houston, Allen, McStay's kicked 2, Cameron to Ruckman. If you look at Carlton, none of their main players, it's all back half players, are getting the football, so they're really getting a touch up at the moment.
Pulling it up by 16 points. Dacos goes after it in the ruck. Walsh tackles him. Cripps going in after it. Fights with Pendlebury for it. Wins out. Just has to fire off a hand pass. George Hewitt will take it. Hand pass to Walsh. Doesn't have much time to kick, but puts it into the left forward pocket. Or just a shallow entry really at the top of the 50 where it bounces. And it will be thrown in just inside the forward 50.
I don't know about you, Kel. That was a panic kick. He had plenty of time to use that football. It's just Collingwood are really panicking him now. They are hot at the football, which is making Carlton very, very nervous.
Tossed in at the punt road end where Carlton's kicking in this first term through the hands of Haywood. Side bottom can't collect. In the end, it's plenty of players diving on top of the footy. George Hewitt's in there for the Blues. Just gets it out towards Cripps. He hand passes backwards to Ainsworth. There's a whistle and a push. Free kick. And it'll be going the way of Paddy Cripps.
Yeah, he's not... My take on this has got to go 55 metres. Paddy's a 50 at best. He's going to have to use this ball. Collingwood have got it totally blocked up. I don't know. There's no one going to run past him. There's no one lateral to him. So this is a luck kick. Hope we mark it.
Took a big mark at the start of Josh Fraser's coaching internship to give the Blues a win. Here he is from outside 50. The Carlton captain veers to the right in the end, doesn't shoot on goal. Sends it to the hot spot. McGovern flies in from the side acres. No mark taken. Swaddling for them Pies. Away to Maynard. Gets it to Josh Dacos. Back on the field. Cleverly knocked it on to Harrison, who looks up the wing. Has Membry in a bit of space. Well done in the end. Just holding him up, Nick Newman. Didn't give away a 50-metre penalty. And it just brought Collingwood's run to a halt for a moment. Membry around the back to Josh Dacos. Missed time kick. Missed Houston. Chance for the Blues. Kemp takes it back. Hand pass to Ainsworth. Looks up inside 50. Collingwood have the numbers back, so elected not to go to Reedy. Back to Cottrell. To Cripps. Almost too slow. Dribbles a kick up to Ainsworth. He just kicks a high, searching ball to the top of the 50. Flying is Haywood, the only one in the pack in the end. Lord gathers. Hand pass over his shoulder. Cottrell's tackled by Perryman and a ball up. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Harry Mackay's still down in the rooms for Carlton and he hasn't emerged yet, and their interchanges are looking a little bit rattled because of it.
Thanks, Poppy, as the ball's tossed up. Lord went in after it.
Just on the last, on the last passage of play, Liam Reedy had to make a real decision. Am I going to go long to the goal square and actually try and get out the back, or come at the kicker? He was just stuck in between, Mick.
Start side bottom, takes it from the stoppage. Spears a pass out to clear it, but Cowan was there to stop it and marks. A couple of kicks from home still. Just kicks it right into the middle of the 50. McGovern goes over the top. Collingwood player down behind play in Maynard. And the free kick will be coming his way.
I just love the way Collingwood playing as a team. They're getting back hard. They're getting back with numbers. Carlton just cannot penetrate that. They're not even looking to penetrate it as far as the lateral football goes.
So Braden Maynard with the footy goes as long as he can with his kick all the way to left half back. underneath the Shane Warne stand where Lockie Cowan punches it out of bounds for a boundary throw in. It is Collingwood ahead by 16 points, 14 minutes played in the opening term. All 3 goals going the way of the Pies in the opener.
The voice of Lauren Borden calling the action alongside Matt Clinch, Poppy Penny on the boundary, Mick Moldhouse and Cal Sinclair, your experts on ABC Sport. Reddy wins down the tap. A chance for Florent. Breaks through the tackle. Hand pass to Hayward. Look out. Ran into Perryman. Just gets a hand pass into the pocket. Burns slipped over for the Blues. Gathered by Ned Long. Hand pass to Swadley. Had to ride the tackle of Paddy Cripps. And Perryman can't keep it alive. As it's out of play at right half forward for the Blues. And it's going to be a Carlton free kick in the end.
They've got their opportunities. Like they're playing the ball in the forward half of the ground a fair bit this quarter, Meg. Probably just their method of going inside 50.
It is. Here it is again.
They're just hoping.
So Swadlin's kick was out on the full. A kick inside 50. No mark taken. Reedy was there. Kemp as well. Comes out to Byrne. Turns towards goal. Can he create something out of nothing? He misses to the left-hand side. Taylor Byrne. And the Blues have 3 behind. So Collingwood's 3 straight 18. 15 minutes gone. Opening term.
Houston takes the kick in and again goes long towards West, who put a little shove in the back of Dirksen, got away with it and moves it out wide where he's able to find Membry. Right in front of the Collingwood bench, has a little bit of space around the boundary as he curls the footy into the forward. 50. Looking for Membry, couldn't take the mark. Ball spills to ground. It's picked up by Dirksen, who takes it and has time to steady and kick it towards Jagger Smith, who marks just forward of half-back. And he hears Nick Newman call out his name, running alongside him, fires off the hand pass, who fires off the hand pass to Lord, back to Smith. The 2 friends combine as Smith puts it to the top of the 50, and Kemp will mark 52 metres out from home. Evans running into the pocket for a short pass. Yeah. Kemp holds on to it.
The Carlton forwards are collapsing back, not forward, so therefore they've really got nothing to kick to. If they don't gain possession across the centre line, they are really... This is what happens. They've got nothing in front of them to kick the ball to. This will rebound quickly if it's not marked.
Kemp would have to kick 57 metres on a tough angle. He'll just pop it to the goal square and hope McGovern can mark front position, 2 hands, brings it down, but Lipinski can take it, hand pass it to side bottom, and he hand passes it in the end over the top of Puncher, who can't pick it out. Up it goes out of bounds, and it will be a boundary throw-in just inside attacking 50 for the Blues. Collingwood ahead by 15 points, 16 minutes played in the opening term at the MCG.
Earlier today, Fremantle by 28 points, trailing by 12 points against Port Adelaide at half-time. And the D's into the top 4 with a 16-point win over North Melbourne. Running down the tap, McStay. Collingwood across half-back. Ned Long gets a hand pass. Nick Dacos dodging and weaving. Hand pass to older brother Josh. Kicks up the wing. West got hands to it and juggles the mark in front of Dirksen. And Collingwood fans applaud that. Young Charlie West trying to take his opportunity.
It's good to see guys like getting up the ground, taking really 2 good contested marks. I think all key forwards have been challenging for Carlton.
Up towards Membry at half forward, can't take the mark. Pendlebury inboard to Nick Dacos, soccers it off the ground, got it to Perryman, on the switch, kicks out to Swadling. Trying to stretch the Carlton defence, but he's way out on 50 at left half forward.
Oh, the difference is in the forward line structure. So Collingwood had so much space to mark that football. I know it's outside 50, but that's not.
Here's normally a beautiful kick. Sam Swadling sends him to the pocket to go. He thought he was held. Umpire disagrees and the ball goes out of play. Geordie to go in now gesturing. He also got a push as well. Umpire's not interested in that feedback, and a throw in 50 out from Collingwood's goal. Poppy Penny.
Yeah, Harry Mackay's come back up from the rooms and he's gesturing towards his left knee, just sort of to the outside of that knee. Doesn't look super comfortable, but still in discussion with the docs, but back up on the bench.
Thanks, Poppy. Keep us posted if anything changes. Ball tossed in. Cripps tries to soccer it off the ground. It's picked up and taken by Long. He's taken in a tackle, gets the hand pass away. And Kemp has it for the Blues, and then he's pulled into a tackle. And there'll be a ball up at left half forward for Carlton. Tossed up. McStay just punches it into forward 50 for the Pies. It's picked up by Wilson, though, who can clear it out of defensive 50. He puts it into a whole lot of space on the members' wing. McCreary wins the footy, but he gave a little shove to Lord. And the Pies fans don't like that. But it's Lord who wins the free. Hand passes it to Newman. Hand passes it to Billy Wilson. Goes for a longer hand pass and retreats back to Haynes, who in the end puts a kick forward towards Hewitt, who takes the mark, gets a free kick as well. But he has the ball. Centre wing for the Blues. They're trailing by 15.
Hewitt looks out wide. Newman's 5 metres in from the boundary at left half forward under the Olympic stand.
Just far too slow.
Yep. Looks inside a forward congested 50, and now we'll need a tall target to present. Sends it long in the direction of Kemp, who flies uncontested in the end. So they got the desired result, and a few of the Collingwood defenders are looking around. And Dan McStay in the ruck couldn't get a hand to it.
Well, Mick, we're not really liking the passage of play that Carlton are doing and how they're going with these long inside 50s. They got lucky there. I think there was probably 4 Collingwood guys just confused about who was actually going to go and fly.
Yeah, exactly.
No Darcy Moore, no Jeremy Howe. Kemp kicked the opening behind of the game, so take 2 from the left forward pocket, curls it around his body, brings it back for the Blues first of the night. It comes at the 20-minute mark, and they needed that after Collingwood had booted the first 3 goals of the match. Collingwood 3 straight 18, Carlton 1-3-9. Ahead of Cal Sinclair and Mick Moldhouse. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Harry Mackay looked pretty dejected talking to both doctors and the physio, but he's on the stationary bike, so it looks like he's going to try and keep that knee warm and potentially get back out there. Not confirmed as done for the day, but he did look dejected, so we'll keep an eye on him.
Well, they're never going to find out if he just sits on the bike, so they've got to work out one way or the other. If it's a knee, you'll know. If it's a muscle, well, you just won't be able to go. So,
could it be a little knock to the knee, maybe?
Well, if it's a knock to the knee, get out there and run around.
He's also their second ruck mix. That means Paddy Cripps might have to help out with some of that responsibility.
Well, good luck.
It is Reedy in the ruck, though, now for the Blues against Cameron. George Hewitt gets the clearance, just kicks it right to half forward. Side bottom's there to stop it. He's tackled, brought to the turf by Byrne. Free kicks for the Blues. And Taylor Byrne makes an impact. Centre half forward for Carlton. Just drops his kick into the centre of the 50.
That's a great kick.
Much better.
And Ainsworth was there to mark.
Well, I think Collingwood will go back over that and just say we had 2, 4, 5. So there's 13 players in the back 50. How could someone at 35 metres out be standing by himself? And he's not exactly a tall player. So they've gone to sleep, the Pies.
Ainsworth now gets a set shot from directly in front of goal. A kick from about 40 metres out. Ben Ainsworth slots it. Carlton has 2 in a row coming in very quick succession, and it cuts down Collingwood's lead to just 3 points. Carlton 2-3-15, Collingwood 3 straight 18. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Your experts Mick Moldhouse and Cal Sinclair.
And I'd be saying, Mick, if I was Josh Fraser in the box at the quarter-time break in a few moments' time, be a bit more patient going inside 50. And by patience, lower your eyes, because we're not actually making our Collingwood defenders actually defend by going these long down the line kicks every single time. Maybe got a little bit of luck the last couple, but either way, they've looked for it. Make the Collingwood defenders think a little bit more than what's going on.
Yeah, spot on. But particularly with Cameron. Cameron is one of the best, smartest ruckmen around. He will sit 10 metres out and mark anything or destroy anything. So you've got to keep it away from that area.
The Blues struggled with the conditions and the pressure in which Hawthorn brought last week. They're rising here. Reedy out of the middle of the ground. Kicks up towards half forward. Ainsworth is outmarked by Dan Houston. Collingwood by 3 points. Dacos leads away with 7 disposals. Patrick Cripps has 6. What a mouth-watering contest it is between those two. De Goey got it, fed the hand pass, forward to Quainer. Didn't have to break stride, drives it inside 50. Dean in front, can't take the mark. McStay in tow. West tries to knock it on for Collingwood. Desperation from Dean, trying to dive on the footy. Spills out to Cripps. He can't knock it clear. Now the ball is locked to the chest of Scott Pendlebury, and a ball up 60 metres out from Collingwood's goal.
Scott Pendlebury up to game 438 tonight. He's got the footy and he's tackled in that stoppage.
Is that Dean's 100th game yet? He just plays like an old player. He is that smart.
He's got to be at least, 80 games off that at the moment?
Game 15, so he's got a few to go, but he's playing like a guy, like his old man.
Everything about him, he's smart. He's clever, he's learned a lot.
And what's also good, Mick, is that he's been challenged this game as well. I think McStay hit a couple on him, and he's still out there making an impact.
Josh Dacos with the footy from 55 metres out, pops it into the pocket. It gets punched away. Burns there to collect for Carlton. Hand pass to Cowan, hand pass to Hewitt. Gets wrapped up by Perryman. He doesn't get rid of it. Holds on to the tackle. He didn't have much prior. And that's a ball up inside forward 50 for the Pies, ahead by 3 points.
Thrown up, Reedy and Cameron. Reedy taps it down to the advantage of Cripps. Gets a hand pass away to Chera. Feeds it to Lord. Sends a kick to half-back. And Taylor Byrne takes the mark. So Carlton have managed to respond after Collingwood kicked the opening 3 goals in the match. The Blues were the last 2. And starting to get a bit more of the game played on their tempo. Kick out to Chera, who marks it right half back.
He's got to do more, Chera. He's, he gets enough of the football, but does he do enough with the football?
He sends it long in the direction of Hayward. Frampton's there. Kemp just knocks it on for the Blues. Gains an extra 10 metres. Darcy Cameron gathers, and Reedy gathers him. Tackles him over the boundary line. And the umpire says throw it in. I was chatting to Nigel Lappin today at the VFL, who was making the point about the season in which Connor O'Sullivan's had for Geelong, that there should be a tax, Mick, for some of the young key defenders, that they don't get the recognition that some of the midfielders do.
They're terrific, aren't they?
And they've been thrilled with his progression. Feel like he doesn't get the plaudits that some of the gun midfielders do. And Harry Dean's probably in that category as well. Jagger Smith gets the hand pass to Cooper Lord. Sends the Blues inside 50. Hayward almost juggled the mark. Byrne keeps it alive. Sockers it towards the teeth of goal. Lipinski's back for Collingwood. Hand pass to Josh Dacos. Not a lot of options at half back. Feeds the hand pass back to Quainer, who kicks long to McCreary. A 2-on-1 for the Blues. Newman takes the mark. McCreary was wrestling with Cowan. Cowan did his bit. Just freed up Newman to take the mark. He sends the Blues inside 50. Frampton with the spoil. Got rid of Hayward. And gains a good 25 metres with a punch into the back pocket for Collingwood.
I'm going to be a broken record, Mick, but Nick Newman is a good enough kick to not have to rush like that.
He doesn't have to rush.
Lower your eyes. You've got options. You've got action numbers ahead of the ball. Give your forwards an action opportunity to work.
Take the 15-metre kick.
Yes.
Just, again, then you get 6 or 7 seconds from an umpire, then reset. There's a waste of time just belting it in.
Collingwood ahead by 3 points. Ball tossed in there. Carlton's forward 50 rather. Anderson takes it, moves it away. Then Cottrell picks it up, tries to just move it forward with a little kick. Houston's there to take it. Two players clatter into each other. There was Swaddling and Perryman. Swaddling takes it, moves it to side bottom, who hand passes it to Perryman. And he chips it out to Anderson, who hand passes it to Swaddling, who's running past him right in the centre of the MCG. Spears the pass to Pendlebury, hand passes it out to DeGoey, who can slot the kick inside forward, 50 into the left forward pocket. Dirksen punches it out of bounds. Ahead of West, and it'll be a throw in this time, but inside Collingwood's attacking 50, ahead by 3 points. A couple of minutes left in this first term.
That was brilliant, this defence, because that was a goal all the way. If he marks that, just got there first. Well done.
Poppy Penny reporting. Harry Mackay on the bike, featured for the first 10 minutes. A left knee concern for him. Reedy tries to soccer it off the ground. Jagger Smith's hand pass chopped off. Collingwood take it back through to Goey. Centering ball. Frankie Evans in front. Good mark, the small forward helping out in defence. He marks in front of Lipinski. Kicks up towards half back. Leading the foot race. Cottrell got there first. 1-2 with Akers. Pressure came from McCreary. Courageous kick up the wing, and Nick Newman takes the mark with Josh Dacos coming the other way. Feeds it to Akers. They've got numbers on the overlap. Never got to Jagger Smith. Anderson thought he had the mark. Umpire agreed. Jagger Smith making the case. He touched it on the way through. 80,000 in the house. I don't know if he heard the whistle, but Anderson's getting a 50-metre penalty.
Well, it come off the boot, touched. There's no question about that.
So Anderson taken to half forward. Sends Collingwood inside 50. McStay the target. Brought down by Dean. Cottrell over around the footy. Hand pass comes out to Lipinski. Kicks towards the top of the goals. No one there for Collingwood. Nick Haynes takes the mark in front of Harrison. Feeds the hand pass away to Lord to get the Blues out of defence.
Ward's got some space as he takes a bounce and moves it out the outer side of the ground. Bounces towards Kemp, who has to spin around the 360. Then get a hand pass towards Byrne, who puts it on his boot right to the logo on the outer side of the ground. Sam Walsh marks. He slows things down. Looks inboard before loading up on his kick and placing it to right half forward. Frampton got in front, did enough to break up the ball in the air, bring it to ground. It was picked up by Evans, and then he was dispossessed. Frampton took it, hand passes it to side bottom. He kicks right down towards Charlie West, who does mark just inside the boundary line. And he uses the footy by putting a little chip kick towards to go. He bounces well for him. And he can curl the footy to left half forward, where he turns it over by kicking it straight to Haynes. And Haynes has got it again for the Blues in defensive 50.
And he's going to get 50 here. Nick Haynes a loose across half back. They kicked it straight to him, and in the end, the 50-metre penalty is going to be against the Magpies. So
strange, these 50-metre penalties. It just stops the play. It's an unnecessary rule. It really antagonises a lot of the supporters for a start off.
Yeah, makes it hard to follow. Haynes spots a player at right half forward. That's Cooper Lord. He can come inboard to Walsh and now spots up Florent, who gets away from Ned Long. Big wide arc to the right-hand side, gets to 50, tries to bang it through, it hits the right goalpost. Almost looked like he was able to light it up from outside the arc, Ollie Florent. And the Blues could have almost pinched the lead ahead of quarter time, but it's Collingwood by 2 points, 29 minutes gone.
Josh Dacos kicks it outside a defensive 50, looking for side bottom, getting back to punch it away and out of bounds is Byrne.
He's been good today, young Byrne. He's just grown. I've watched him. The last time he missed that goal, it broke his heart, broke a lot of Carlton people's heart. But he's grown with every game. He's more involved. He doesn't now rely on senior players around him. He knows it's his job. He's just got to go for it.
Just his 13th game, Taylor Byrne out of Croydon. As the ball's tossed in. And Houston goes chasing after it for the Pies. Just fires off a hand pass quickly towards Josh Dacos. Very close to the boundary line. Cowan has it. He's wrapped up. And we'll have a ball in about 1 centimetre in from the boundary line. Collingwood still leading by 2 points. Just ticking into 30 minutes in the opening term.
Reedy and Cameron comes down to Jagger Smith. And that'll do us for the opening quarter. Collingwood put the first 3 goals of the match before Carlton finished with the last 2 and could have almost taken the lead before quarter time through Ollie Florent, but it's the Magpies by 2 points. 3 straight 18 to Carlton 2 for 16. Dan Houston has 8 disposals, Nick Dacos has 8, and Jordan Ngoe also leads the way with 8 for the Magpies. While Cooper Lord has 8 for the Blues, and Patrick Cripps has 7. Earlier today, it was Fremantle had to come from behind against Port Adelaide to prevail by 28 points. The D's are into the top 4 with a 16-point win over North Melbourne, but that was soured by the news that, unfortunately, Daniel Turner has been hospitalised with an internal rib chest injury, and Changus Jaff is also suspected of a calf injury, so a couple of players there, and Matthew Jefferson's 4 goals led the Demons to victory. And the game about to get underway shortly. The West Coast Eagles taking on the Brisbane Lions from Perth. We'll keep you across that game later tonight. And you can join us throughout the night on 0437 774 774, like David has from Spain. ABC Listen working well across the world and across the country, so you can catch the AFL and NRL coverage wherever you are listening around this wide earth. This is Saturday Night Footy, the Pies by 2 points on ABC Sport.
Are there any winners in the cost of living crisis? What's causing the algal bloom?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Towards Lipinski, a nice hand pass across to Anderson, right half forward, dubs it into the forward pocket, in sliding to take the mark is McStay. Snaps around the body, curls it through for the opener.
Dan McStay in the right forward pocket, 35 metres out for the opening 2 goals of the game. Collingwood fans find full voice. Oh, Dean tried to roll the dice, missed Frankie Evans, taken by Houston. Out past to Maynard, kick looking for to go, he missed him. Membry gathers, curls towards goal, another one for Collingwood. Kemp kicked the opening behind of the game, so take 2 from the left forward pocket, curls it around his body, brings it back for the Blues first of the night. It comes at the 20-minute mark.
Ben Ainsworth slots it. Carlton has 2 in a row coming in very quick succession.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Quarter time of the MCG. Collingwood by 2 points, 3 straight 18 to Carlton 2 for 16. Dan McStay with 2 goals. Tim Membry, the other goal scorer for Collingwood, while Kemp and Ainsworth, the goal scorers for the Blues. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. The thoughts of the coaching icon, Mick Moldhouse, alongside Cal Sinclair. I should have said Dave is, of course, Mick Moldhouse's neighbour, listening to us from Spain. So 0437 774 774 is the SMS number throughout the night.
Yes, it's good to be able to know, Clinchy, that you've been listened all over the world. You're that rated, mate.
We can't be in Europe, but our voices are.
Well, it also shows you that Collingwood and Carlton fans want to follow the action wherever they are in the world.
They are.
We had a guy
do.
from Egypt a few weeks ago.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, what would it be in Spain at the moment? Interesting. He's going to text through give us the temperature, Dave, compared to what it is here. It's dropping fast here. So
Pre-World Cup final, I think it would be madness over there, wouldn't it?
Would it ever? Yeah.
The lead up to Monday's final, Spain and Argentina.
All speak the same language.
Yes, that's true. What about Collingwood Carlton? Who's doing most of the speaking after that opening quarter, given Collingwood started so strongly, and yet the Blues probably like to finish with a gusto of momentum.
Well, they did. They had a bit of momentum. They got the ball in there low, but interesting enough, the stats across the board are pretty similar. 104 to 90, not much there. Stoppages 12 to 8, that's Carlton. 13 to 15 inside 50s, not a big difference. In fact, that surprised me, that figure. It's more Collingwood than Carlton, so I'm thinking that's probably very early in the piece. We've just, Kel and myself have just been looking at, we don't want to compare TV to our radio, but we're just looking at the image of Big Harry Mackay, and he looks, if he's not disinterested, he looks like he's out, I'd say, because there's a blankness on his face that suggests to me that he's probably in a bit of trouble. So Carlton have to do one without a second ruck, two without a tall foot, and that's evident, very evident, that they lack that big, tall player up there to contest the football. So, Kel, that means you've got to bring the ball in so totally different. Otherwise, you are just going to get murdered by the big boys down at Collingwood end, and they'll just keep bringing it out through Dacos and Houston and so forth. So when you lose a play like that, you have to readjust. This will be Josh Fraser's big test to see what he's going to come up with. How will it change? In fact, when Mackay went off, they've actually got back in the game, but nonetheless, those 13 inside 50s, you'd say 10 were trash. They were just up in the air and just hoped that someone marked it. And when they started to look for players, they looked a lot better.
It felt like there was two very different game styles sort of going inside of 50. The first kind of half of that quarter, Mick, it just felt like Collingwood were looking for a handball receive off half back in the middle of the ground. McStay got out the back twice. Membry's now hit the scoreboard. I thought West, he's getting into the game. He's playing high up the ground, took a couple of really good contested marks. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern for the Carlton defenders, is that three of those guys are actually getting their hands on the footy. Although Harry Dean, he's fighting tooth and nail down there. He's been terrific.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, but in saying that, Mick, like, Carlton fought back in that game. It felt like it was more of a Carlton forward half game, but the frustration that we felt going into that second half when they were when they got themselves back into that game, it's just their method of going inside 50. It felt like they didn't recognise that Harry Mackay wasn't actually out there. Now he's putting the jacket on now, so it feels like he's not going to be partaking in any part of their game. But what I noticed when he's off the ground, they were completely lost their structure. Like, Collingwood capitalised on it so quickly. I watched it a few times. There was like a 7v4 in favour of Collingwood in the defence there. So when Carlton actually do break away and get a fast play, they haven't got much to look at. No, is what I've actually noticed. That they're looking up and seeing black and white everywhere. So it's going to be interesting. Nick Dacos, what's he had? Is always a good watch for us. He's had 8 touches. Not a massive influence, but it seems like Walsh has been going to him a little bit of stoppages. Jagger Smith, I think we all rate him. Good for his development, so it'll be a watch. Yeah, but developments for September through to March, not now. This is where you've got to win games of football, and you've got to have the best players you can on these blokes. Pies by 2 points. Reedy one down the tap. Cripps first time couldn't clear. Second time hacks it up towards half forward. And a quick kick from the Magpies from Perryman is chopped off by Billy Wilson in the middle of the MCG. Spots George Hewitt free inside the centre square. Quayne told to stand, so it allows him to walk it straight forward and chip it to Frankie Evans, with the player standing sort of on an angle rather than in front of him. I reckon this is where Cripps has got to play more forward now as well. Without Harry Mackay, kicks into the pocket, up goes Hayward, can't take the mark. Frampton quickly regathers the footy. Hand pass to Quayne, who just slaps it away to Sidebottom, kicks out towards the boundary line, that'll go out of play. And a free kick going the way of the Blues, and Harry Dean is going to take it. Umpire just setting them up. We'll go down to Poppy Penny in just a moment, but looks ridiculous, this mark thing. Harry Mackay's night might be done. So Dean sends the Blues deep inside 50. Hayward's at the back. He can't get a run at it this time, and Darcy Cameron stands in front of him and just protects the space. And this will happen all night unless Carlton start to do something a bit different with their structure coming to the forward line. So Cameron, having taken the mark, kicks up towards McStay. Dean did well, got to the front, tried to knock it clear, and now Cooper Lord's tackle allows us to go down to Poppy Penny on the boundary. Yeah, Harry Mackay confirmed out of this game. It was knee-on-knee contact with Sam Walsh early in that first quarter, but he is out for the rest of the game. The Blues have confirmed. Thanks, Poppy. So out of the game quite early in that first term, and now on the bench for the rest of the game. As from the restart, George Hewitt takes it and he just kicks it down to half forward. Evans can't work it to his advantage. To go, he's there for the Pies. Hand pass to Nick Dacos, who looks around and goes backwards to his brother Josh.
thumps it on his boot and gets a long kick right down the wing. McStay coming in, meets the footy, punches it away from him. Picked up by Allen. He takes it. He's taken in a tackle over the boundary line by Lord. And that's a free kick for Lord. Holding the footy for Ed Allen. And Lord will take it. Just his 4th game for the season. He puts it on his boot and will be able to get it right to the top of the 50. Punch at the back. Attack coming from McGovern. And then it's Cripps who does the tackling on Maynard. And there's a few players around the footy as it bobbles its way over the boundary for a throw-in. About half forward for the Blues. Collingwood ahead by 2 points. Just 2.5 minutes played in this opening term. A big crowd here for the action between a couple of rivals in Carlton and Collingwood.
Thrown back in. Reedy and Darcy Cameron. Cameron works his way to the front, bounced off his chest. He slaps it away from George Hewitt. Jagger Smith can't reel it in before the boundary line. It goes out of play just underneath the Ponsford stand. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Curator Laurel in Rushworth says good calling team. Sean and Simon from the York Peninsula. The old rivalry. Unfortunately not gone to free to air, so listening to you guys and educating the next generation about this great rivalry. Jagger Smith for the Blues. Hand pass back to Wilson. Feeds it to Hewitt. Cripps over his shoulder at work to Cooper Lord. Kicks a centering ball inside 50. Up goes Frampton. Makes the spoil. Ben Ainsworth onto it. He's locked up by 3 Magpies. And the umpire will ball it up. Jan's listening from her warm lounge room. Tuning in on the ABC call. Collingwood by 2 points.
This is the first time for ages I've seen a 6-man forward line stay 6-man on 6 backs. And they're putting pressure on.
From the restart, Smith roves it, has a shot towards goal, and he snuck it through. The first goal of the second quarter going the way of Jagger Smith. And that means that's 3 on the trot for the Blues. And importantly, they're back in front. Carlton, 3-4-22 with a 4-point break against Collingwood, 3 straight 18, just 4 minutes played in the second term.
And what I was saying there was that at stoppage here in the half-forward flank, when you look up, instead of just seeing an extra Collingwood player like a Dacos or a Houston, Carlton kicked their 6 forwards forward, so therefore the back 6 were accounted for. So when that ball went in there for the next stoppage, there was no spare Collingwood players, so therefore you then were able to get that pressure put on. The ball was reignited, and Smith was fantastic at the stoppage, but it only came about because Collingwood couldn't get that free run from that extra player.
Mick Malthouse with you on ABC Sport. The Blues lead by 4 points. Their second lead of the match. Taken by Jack Crisp in the middle of the ground for Collingwood. Kicks up towards half forward. McCreary works his way in front of Wilson. Takes the mark. Edge of the centre square. Sidebottoms push forward from the wing. Marks it left half forward, but he's just inside 50, which you would think would take his absolute best at 35 years of age.
Yeah, he's surprised. And what he'll do, he'll run around and get the extra half yard. One thing for sure, he'll be thinking about everything, all the equations here.
He did this in 2023, but on this occasion he puts it to the top of the goal square, and Dean flies in front, takes the mark. Charlie West elected not to go in the air, so Dean had an uncontested mark. Quickly takes the chance of transitioning it to George Hewitt, who has it in the back pocket, the Blues by 4 points.
Hewitt was pulled out of the game in about the second quarter last week with a back injury against Hawthorn, but deemed fit to play tonight. His kick, though, is a turnover, although it'll be a free kick.
Yeah, silly free kick.
Crisp.
Silly free kick by Cameron. They do it so well, Collingwood. They didn't have to do it so far off the ball.
So it's Liam Reedy who wins the free kick. Crisp stands the mark. And he just chips it out wide towards the boundary line. Ainsworth will mark. Just backwards of centre wing for the Blues. Kicked the last 3 goals of the game. Now in front, right down the wing is where the kick goes, and it's a Collingwood intercepting mark that comes the way of Puncher.
The accountant.
Punching numbers.
Directly, yes.
So Liam Puncher in just his 3rd game. He kicks it right down to centre wing. Perryman takes it for the Pies. Hand passes it away to Nick Dacos. He's absolutely mobbed in a tackle and brought to the MCG turf.
I always find it interesting players giving tax advice. Some players over my career, Mick, I wouldn't be taking financial advice from. Liam Puncher probably would, given he's qualified.
Yeah, exactly.
Following in the footsteps of Cal Wilkie. Yes. Liam Puncher picked up as a mid-season pickup from Woodville West Torrens in Adelaide. It must be a weird scenario. One week you're a suburban footballer doing a full-time job. Next minute, you're a professional athlete playing here in one of the biggest matches of the season. Hewitt takes it for the Blues across half-back. Hand pass to Newman, sends it up the wing. Cripps marks, trying to get away from Darcy Cameron. Did well to hold him up, not give away 50. Hand pass to Akers. They run the boundary line. Hand pass to Ben Ainsworth, inside 50. Cottrell marks in front of McGovern. So Harry Mackay out of the game after just 10 minutes, and yet the Blues look okay as they had multiple lead-up options there.
They're using the better ball now. They're using the ball that's not necessarily thumped to the goal line and hope that someone marks it. It's now they're looking for players, and that is substantially a different thing. They've gone 17 to 14, 27 to 20 possessions. Carlton inside 50s, it's 4-1.
Matt Cottrell, a player who brings the energy and the harmonica for the Blues from the left forward pocket to extend their lead. He misses to the left-hand side. And they've had some chances. 3 goals, 3-5 now, 23 to Collingwood. 3 straight, 18.
3-5.
3-5.
As Collingwood work the footy all the way down from there, kick in around through the pocket and up to the wing, where it'll be a free kick coming the way of Haynes, who was infringed upon.
I think they just paid the mark. I don't think they even paid
mark?
Well, it's strange because when he put his zones up like that, I was thinking that has to be a chop, but no, they just paid the mark.
He's had a few. Giuseppe Haynes tonight. He's actually having a pretty good game.
Yeah, he is.
Back to his Giants form.
So the Blues have it, and Haynes just chips it backwards towards Dean, who's at half back now. He goes back to Haynes, where it started.
That's okay. This is what Kel was talking about before. Instead of just rushing it, just use up a bit of time to make sure you get it right.
So Haynes now goes with a long kick. He'll get it just inside 50. Quaynor can tap it away. Side bottom picks it up. Hand pass to Cameron. Hand pass to Josh Dacos, who flicks it back to side bottom. Little chip down comes to Crisp. It was just a 15-metre kick. Hand pass comes to Josh Dacos, who moves it into centre wing where Allen can take it. Hand pass it away to McCreary. The Pies moving it quickly here. McCreary's kick, though, will be a turnover. Dirksen ahead of Membry. Read it well. And takes it for the Blues. And he's able to chip it to Cottrell, who's back in the back line. And he moves it out towards Paddy Cripps, who takes it, hand passes it away to Walsh, who's on the wing.
Feeds a hand pass wide to Wilson. Dribbles a kick up the wing. Frampton will get there first. Gets a hand pass away from Jagger Smith. Cleverly slapped on by Anderson. That works to Lipinski. Into the middle of the ground for Nick Dacos. Hand pass to Pendlebury. Looks up. Tries to get it to Harrison on the bounce. He cuts it around his body. Has a player in the pocket. It's West underneath the high ball. He takes the mark. They always had the one loose player. Collingwood inside forward 50. George Hewitt. In fact, it was Nick Newman who was trying to desperately race back. But Charlie West has it in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, that was a terrible turnover in the middle of the ground. Carlton were out, had multiple opportunities. When you put the ball to the ground, anything can happen. Collingwood were able to get it back, and in the right hands too of Pendlebury and also Dacos.
4th game of his career. Charlie West looking for his 2nd goal this season. The chance goes begging as he puts it across the face of goal from the right forward pocket and through for a minor score. Carlton's lead is 4 points. 10 minutes gone in the 2nd quarter. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Florent moves it in to Dean, who marks in the right back pocket. And then Dean chips it back to the goal square where Wilson does mark. Anderson right close by him. It's a direct kick that does find Haynes. He takes the mark and hand pass to Florent. And the Blues move it quickly with the pass that finds Jagger Smith in the centre of the MCG. Hand passes it back to Florent, who goes out wide towards Evans. He wants to play on, maybe takes a step or two. Then gets told by the umpire that he has played on. A squaring ball, or a centering ball rather, finds Florent. Centre half forward for Carlton. And he just takes his time here. Darts left, then tries to dart right. Pendlebury nearly drags him down. Has to send a hand pass inside forward 50 towards Cottrell, who kicks this one to a hot spot forming. Frampton comes in to try and palm it down. Reedy's there for the Blues. And then Maynard takes it for the Pies. Hand passes it into the right forward pocket. But Akers can gather and collect for the Blues. Hand pass to Newman. His hand pass was terrible. And it allows the Pies to exit defensive 50 easily. And they can find West, who clears.
The kick up towards Anderson, who has Haynes for company. Can't reel it in, though, and the ball goes out of play under the Shane Warne sides. There's a messy footy from both sides. The Blues leading by 4 points.
2 parts to that mess. Yes, Carlton had a lot of fumbles, but a lot of opportunities. Collingwood were like nowhere around them. It's bizarre. So missed opportunity for Carlton, and Collingwood need to tighten up on their defence.
Yeah, it's deteriorated the game, you've got to say. Maybe it's slippery, maybe it's decision-making. Then Dacos gets it.
Yep. Cameron down to Lipinski, gave it to Nick Dacos. That's always a good option. 2 bounces on the outer wing. Looks up to Harrison, who marks at right half forward. So Nick Dacos up to 6 disposals in this second quarter. Now leading the way with 14 for the match. Harrison's kick inside 50. Membry jumps off both legs in front. Can't take the mark. West got a hand pass out. Pendlebury tackle. Dropped the footy. Newman laid the tackle. Not rewarded as the ball goes out of play in the right forward pocket for Collingwood, heading to the punt road end in this second term. The Blues leading by 4 points.
Collingwood got the extra 2 behind the ball at the moment, and it'll swing back. And they've got it really well laid up behind the back 50.
Reedy and Cameron tussling in the ruck. Cameron has front position and it falls, ricochets back to him. He just tries to kick the ball forward to get some distance. Dean picks it up. He hand passes it away straight to Longo. Hand passes to West. Snaps the goal. A quick goal coming from the Pies from a stoppage inside forward 50. And West gets the goal this time. Into the side to provide a little bit of spark. And Charlie West breaks a string of 3 consecutive Carlton goals and puts the Pies back in front. 2 points, Collingwood's lead. 4-1-25. Carlton 3-5-23. Mick Malthouse.
Well, Kel, you were...
Oh.
Yeah.
I am here too, Lauren.
Kel,
sounding a bit insane.
No, Kel was going to say...
Me and Mick got some good chemistry, pointing back and forth, and, you're not seeing what's going on back here. But what I was going to say, Lauren, is that Harry Dan will be a bit disappointed. He's actually had a really good quarter. He's gone on 7 disposals. Kicking efficiency is 100%, but just felt a little bit of the weight of the pressure there coming at him from Collingwood. And probably good reward for Charlie. He's had a good game thus far. He's contributing. Good to see him hit the scoreboard, but yeah, Harry Dan, the boys felt for him. They got around straight away, but yeah.
Well, I just think that Carlton have given the ball back 3 times when they've been totally free and mucked up the disposal, which has given Collingwood the opportunity. But conversely, the other side, Carlton have picked them off a couple of times through the 50 through mistakes as well.
6-6 warning against Collingwood. Darcy Cameron taps it to his own advantage, gets the clearance to half forward. The Blues have the numbers though. Cowan runs onto it. Nice pass to Captain Cripps at half back. Draws an opponent and Crisp gets the hand pass away to Akers. Links it over the top to Ainsworth. The Blues are running. Collingwood back in front by 2 points. Ainsworth at right half forward. No Harry Mackay, looks for the options deep. Reedy's gone forward. Sends it in that direction. He flies early, and in the end, Darcy Cameron takes an easy mark, but did he get shoved?
Oh, it's a silly
Umpire said there was a push.
Oh, it was a silly free kick by Cameron. Just too early.
I didn't see that, Mick.
It was actually Dan Houston, I reckon, who just gave him a shove right in the middle of the back, and even though there wasn't a lot in it, the umpire sitting there had no other option but to blow his whistle.
Sorry, it was Dan McStay. Well, you can't put hands in the back and push. It's as simple as that.
This is the dream for Cal Sinclair. When you're 204 centimetres, you are imposing, and players do start to panic. And Liam Reedy now a chance to try and put through his first goal in AFL footy. What a moment it is for him in the right forward pocket. 40 metres out from goal, he kicks it like a ruck. It sprays out to the left and off hands.
Settle, Clinchy.
Taylor Burns.
Mate, you just...
Harry Perryman sees it out of play for a throw-in. I gave him the big build-up, Cal, but unfortunately not to be for him and Carlton fans.
I wonder if he knows he'll let to kick it with his boot. That came off his knee. You could not have hit the ball worse in the... I was trying to work out, is he a left or right footer, because that was all over the shop.
From the ball in, Swanling takes it, hand passes away, straight to McGovern. He snaps the goal. A beautiful finish off a step from McGovern. And they fight back with one here, the Blues, by locking it inside their forward 50. Carlton, 4-5-29. The lead, 4 points the way of the Blues. Collingwood, 4-1-25. The third lead change of the match so far. 16 minutes played in the second term.
Wow, that was just as bad as the give me up. The other is pity from Scott Pendlebury. Scott Pendlebury, one bubbled it and then blindly gave it. I don't know who he's looking for. So he's fumbled it here and then. Oh yeah, he's just. Yeah.
I reckon he's called for it, McGovern.
Oh, I reckon it was going to be over McGovern's head. He didn't anticipate McGovern was already on his feet, so ready to go. That was. Well, both goals, the last two goals have been give-me goals from bad hand passes. And I mean bad hand passes. They could have been, both balls could have been kicked out of the 50, but they were elected to see if they can create something.
Mick Malthouse with you on ABC Sport. The Blues have kicked 3 of their 4 goals from stoppages. Pendlebury trying to redeem himself. Soccer to half forward. McCreary's hand pass to McStay. Gets it up to half forward. Florent tackle. Dispossessed holding the ball. Collingwood fans, the noise of affirmation as they get the free kick at half forward, and Bo McCreary has it.
Hasn't kicked a goal for a long time, McCreary.
How's his season been?
Ordinary. Yeah. Since he's become embroiled in the Tassie thing, one, we don't know whether it's fact. 2 is, if it is, it's having a detriment effect. He's got a chance here. He will go the distance. There's no question about the distance.
7 goals, 5 for the season, but hasn't kicked a goal since round 12 against the Western Bulldogs. From right on 50, Bo McCreary sets sail for home and gets it there. Collingwood take back the lead by 2 points. 2 goals apiece so far in this second quarter, and these Magpie teammates come with him to celebrate. They know how important that is. And maybe Craig McRae has shown the confidence in him. Just had the 9 disposals, Bo McCreary last week against North Melbourne, but kept him in the senior side, and he delivered there. Collingwood 5-1-31 to the Blues 4-5-29. Mick Malthouse and Cal Sinclair with you on ABC Sport. While over in the West, it's the Eagles 5-1-31 leading the Brisbane Lions 1-4-10 in the opening stages of the first quarter there in Perth.
But you just said about McQuarrie having the confidence. I just reckon when you lose Elliott and Schultz, there's not many options the way I see it.
And McCreary's more than a depth player as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Kemp in the ruck now for the Blues. It's McStay who gets the tap down, and it's a clearance into the forward 50 for Carlton. Everyone dives on top of the footy, and there'll be a ball up 35 metres out from Carlton's attacking goal. So Quaynor hands back the footy to the umpire. His return game from an ankle injury. Tossed up. Cripps and McStay in the ruck inside forward 50 for the Blues. Ball spills down to side bottom. He gets a little flick pass away behind him. And then again, it's everyone gathered around the footy, and another ball up inside forward 50 for Carlton.
Interesting setup by the Pies outside the back 50. They're really close.
Byrne just charges his way through, tries to do something with the footy. He runs into a mob of Collingwood players. He's tackled to the turf, and Pint holding the ball. And it'll be a free kick to Maynard.
Great Maynard, such a spiritual leader for Collingwood. Kicks into the back pocket. And the mark is taken by Puncher, the mid-season pickup, the accountant from South Australia, who ran a long way and then drives it long up the wing. In the direction of Anderson, it clears he and Cowan. Membry gathers, hand pass to Harrison, looks up, Ned Long's on the lead in the pocket, can't take the mark in front of Newman, tries to slap it to Harrison's advantage, gave it back to Long, good build-up, centre and kick, Crisp takes the mark.
Brilliant.
He can hand pass it into the goal square to go, he kicks around his shoulder, and that's a great finish for Collingwood. Transition into the right forward pocket, and then some good decision making, which ends up with Jordan De Goey kicking the goal, and Collingwood lead by 8 points. They've kicked the last 2 goals of the match. The Magpies 6-1-37 to Carlton 4-5-29. Mick Malthouse and Cal Sinclair, your experts. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
I'm not sure who it was that had that terrific 101, Mick, just on the far wing there, just to keep it sort of in play, and then had the composure to just bring it back into the middle of the ground. De Goey's been okay today. Haven't seen much of him this quarter with only 2 disposals. Now he's kicked a goal, but a little bit of a gimme, but...
I reckon it's Ned Long that was one that was able to fight that hard to get that ball. He's created the goal.
It was easy probably for him. He could have just conceded over the boundary line. I thought, yeah, serviceable. Go in and have a boundary throw in, but pushed through and ended up Carlton's defence got exposed.
Bobby Penny on the boundary.
Liam Puncher just came off for the Pies and no one went on, and they only have 5 on the bench. So I believe that for a minute there they might have had 19 on the field.
Maybe we'll have to call for a head count as Cripps takes it and kicks it to right half forward. He was looking for Ainsworth, couldn't mark, brought the ball down to ground. Hewitt came in to take the footy for the Blues, and then he got dived on by Houston. And Perryman as well, and the ball's locked up.
Even that was poor play coming out of the centre. Paddy Cripps has got run towards the goal square. He kicks it wide. Just either no faith in what's happening in front of him,
Half forward for Carlton. Cameron took it out of the ruck. It was Cowan who was able to pick it up for the Blues, though. Just skies a footy inside forward 50. Drops for Byrne, who hand passes it away to Ainsworth. Chris picks it up for the Pies. Hand pass to Cameron. It's all a little messy as the hand pass comes back to Byrne. He's dispossessed. Now it's in the hands of the Pies again via side bottom. Hand pass to DeGoey. His hand pass a turnover as Hewitt takes it. Gets tackled. Has to send a hand pass out. And Frampton picks it up for the Pies. Hand pass to Nick Dacos. Moves it on to DeGoey quickly. Hand pass to Long. Hand pass to Pendlebury. Half forward for the Pies. Hand passes it back to Long. Quickly puts the ball on his boot to the left forward pocket. Looking for Membry. Haynes was there for the Blues and takes the steadying mark. Moves it across to Chera.
Chera looks up the wing. Has Patrick Cripps in space. Can gather on the bounce. Nick Dacos doesn't run at him. Instead protects the space in front of him. And Cripps comes in ball with a kick to Hewitt. Collingwood by 8 points. Time on in the second quarter. Kemp leads up to half forward. He takes the mark and then works it over the top to Ainsworth. He's at right half forward. Hayward leading into the pocket. The kick is too wide and over the boundary line. Was it? Umpire said the mark is paid. The boundary umpire was caught behind Braden Maynard, the Collingwood player, who now has his hands in the air. And I think all three of them are going to come together.
Who calls this?
Well, the boundary umpire should.
Yeah, but who corrects it? Is it the...
Well, it might be the ARC. They might get a voice in their ear.
So the ARC can have a go on the boundary and in the goals, but can't have a...
Right now it's the Collingwood fans who are leaning over the fence and giving the boundary umpire a piece or two of advice. Hayward was over the boundary line. It was just whether he had part of the mark before he was over the line. In the end, a free kick Collingwood's way. And Maynard does kick it up the wing. No mark taken. Cameron onto it. Takes 2 to stop him. Akers and Chera. And the umpire will ball it up on the members' wing. Collingwood by 8 points. 6-1-37 to Carlton 4-5-29.
Collingwood versus Carlton at the MCG. Round 19, 80,000 plus here at the G as the kick just bobbles its way out towards the boundary line. It'll be a lasso free kick. So another Collingwood ball at half back. Josh Dacos to take it. Puts it on his boot. And right down to a contest forming on the wing. Haynes read it beautifully.
Well, not only that ball was coming like a rocket.
He got in front of the pack and marked it nicely. Kicks it back to Newman. Kicks it to Walsh, who completes the switch to the Shane Warne stand of the side stand of the ground, where Cowan marks, and then chips it to Newman.
Sam Walsh needs to get involved. He's for a side that there's a lot of loose football.
Newman's still with the footy, just squares it out to Dirksen, right half back. Slow approach here from Carlton as they move it across to Haynes. He marks in front of the Carlton bench. Harry Mackay out for the day. Won't take any further part in the game, a knee injury. His kick, though, a turnover. As Long takes it, hand passes it to Nick Dacos. Kicks to half forward for Collingwood. Anderson just spilled the mark, but he'll get the free kick. Paid against Dean. Anderson with it, centre half forward.
Really? A little lucky, Anderson, who propelled his body forward and made sure the umpire saw it. I don't know if there was that much force by Dean, but he certainly got him in the back. Anderson called a play on. McGovern almost put the pressure on. Kick out to Houston, who's a beautiful long kick from outside 50. And it's offline to the right and through for a minor score. So Collingwood by 9 points. The Eagles still leading in Perth. They're 5-2-32 to the Brisbane Lions 2-4-16. Time on in the opening quarter there. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
I think, Kel, I don't know about you. I reckon Collingwood have just grabbed the game a bit by the neck. They're squeezing Carlton. Carlton just can't penetrate that 50 with assurance, whereas Collingwood can.
I want to kick to now, Mick.
No, that's...
So Cowan's got it at centre wing, spun around in a 360 and hand passed it back to the man he got the ball from in Akers, who just stubs the footy. Inside forward 50, nearly works for Byrne. He couldn't hold on to it. Reedy's there on the turf to pick it up. Hand pass it to Hayward. The ball bobbles its way towards goal. But it goes through for a behind, between the left goal post and the left behind post. Just a minor score for Carlton. Collingwood's lead cut back by 1 to 8 points, 25 minutes played in the second term.
Braden Maynard brings Collingwood back into play. Straight down the middle to Dan Houston. 40 metres out from his defensive goal and now a 50-metre penalty.
Another 50. I don't blame the umpires. They've got to operate under the rules, but there is no interference.
So Brody Kemp was in a protected area. Houston's run his all way through the middle of the ground and kicks inside 50. Membry marks. Cleared McCreery, and there was little Wilson could do in that matchup on Tim Membry as it just landed shallowly in his lap in the right forward pocket.
I get what you're saying, Clinchy, but Wilson should have been up on his shoulder, pushing him to the fence He had ample time to do that. It wasn't as if, I know the ball was falling, but you take the ground first.
Collingwood got out by 16 points in the opening quarter. The Blues took the lead in this second quarter. We've had 5 lead changes. Tim Membry looking for his second. And to continue Collingwood's charge, the kick is offline to the right. There's no one there on the goal or behind line for Collingwood, so Dirksen in the end can take an uncontested mark. As he raffled it with his own teammate Nick Newman.
That's terrible.
Now Newman can take it from Dirksen.
Just painting that for people who aren't watching. Membry had a shot about 35 metres out.
Oh, hang on, Mick. Newman's played on outside the boundary line. He's trying to make the case that he kept on his line as he was bringing the ball from the left back pocket, and the umpire says throw it in. So
stakes.
A couple of mistakes here from the Blues. A 50-metre penalty from Kemp took the Collingwood side to half forward, and now Newman playing on over the boundary line.
Just getting full clarification from the umpire as he's walking away. Nick Newman, the ball is tossed in and clears all the rucks as Walsh grabs it, can hand pass it away. Florent takes it, hand passes it across to Lord. He sends a hand pass to Wilson, mobbed by 3 Magpies, brought to the turf. And play will be halted right at centre wing, outer side of the ground.
Well, you can't play on over the boundary line, so
well, you can't play on the boundary line, so therefore pay it every time. Don't be selective, because it has. They pay it all the time where they let the player do it.
Yeah, they don't normally penalise if you step off your line outside the boundary line too often. They do.
Step off your line, but
shots on goal they do.
Yeah.
Call your play on immediately.
Collingwood ahead by 8 points. Ball tossed up just forward of the wing to Collingwood's advantage. Ball comes away long, takes it, hand passes it to Nick Dacos. He's dispossessed of the footy. Dean did well, and the Blues will win it back. Jagger Smith with it, can take it, hand pass it to Florent. Spears the pass towards centre wing, and Houston easily stops that for the Pies, sends them inside forward 50. Cowan's there for Carlton. Intercepts the mark for the Blues and will be able to clear it out of defensive 50. Collingwood ahead by 8.
Chera had to win the mark against McCreary in the air. He does so and then gets the hand pass away to the run of Dirksen. Ran into a dead end. Just got the hand pass away from the tackle from McCreary. Wilson gets it forward to Hewitt. It might still open up. Evans gathers it right half forward. Good composure. Chips it to half forward. And Taylor Byrne takes the mark. He spots a loose player centrally inside 50. It's Lord sliding in. Can't take the mark. It ricochets away from him. And Swaddling gathers. Collingwood turn defence into attack now. Harvey Harrison on the outer wing. He's got 20 metres of space, takes the bounce, kicks up towards Nick Dacos. Jagger Smith gets a touch in there. He wins the ball back for the Blues. Gets the hand pass away to Cowan. It's end-to-end footy all of a sudden. Hand pass to Florent. Sends Carlton up the Shane Warne stand wing. And the mark is taken by Hayward. Everyone takes their breath for a moment.
Well done, Jagger Smith.
Hayward looking for Hewitt. It just sits for him. He drops the mark. Has time to recover. Long was chasing after him. Puts the kick inside forward 50. Akers can't take the mark. Ball spills down. Burns there again. He has the footy. He has to take the tackle, and it'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for the Blues.
I reckon I've seen so many opportunities to kick goals. Players falling over, miss their target by 2 or 3 metres, and then drop a mark 35, 40 metres out. It's just bizarre.
Reedy and Cameron in the ruck. Houston takes it. Goes to put the kick away. It's a ruck infringement against Reedy. For holding Cameron out of the contest. He wins the free kick. He chips it straight to Kemp.
Now, this is an opportunity Carlton have to take, Mick.
Well, they do.
In fairness,
a big mistake.
In fairness to them, they've had a lot of opportunities going inside 50. They've actually looked like more likely to score this quarter than what they have in that first term. Their method going inside 50 has been a lot cleaner. They've lowered the eyes. They just haven't been able to execute or capitalise on that last possession.
Mistake from Darcy Cameron that chips it right to Brodie Kemp inside forward 50 for the Blues. Allows him a shot after the siren. 45 metres out from goal. Won't even register a score. Didn't make the distance. Framped it on the last line. Punched it away. And that won't be a change to the score at all for the Blues. It'll be Collingwood leading by 8 points at half-time. They were up by 2 points at quarter time. The lead changed 3 times in that second term. Carlton was able to get ahead by 4 points at the 16-minute mark, and then it was Collingwood who had a goal through McCreary that gave the Pies back the advantage at that point in the second term. Collingwood ahead by 8 points, 6-38. Carlton 4-6-30. The goal kickers so far in the match, 2 to Dan McStay, and then 1 to Jordan DeGoey, Tim Membry, Charlie West and Beau McCreary for Collingwood. And for Carlton, It's Brodie Kemp, Ben Ainsworth, Mitch McGovern and Jagger Smith, all with singles. Harry Mackay out of the game with a left knee concern for the Blues. But Collingwood ahead by 8 points at half-time, Clinchy.
Having led by 2 at quarter time, Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Mick Malthouse and Cal Sinclair.
Well, thoughts I've got, these are two sides that are 8th and 12th and displaying that, and we have this madness chasing 9th and 10th. So for all intents and purposes, one of these sides or two of these sides could actually play off in that. You watch a game, and I know it's harsh, but when you watch some really good sides going around, and they've been challenged. I mean, we're watching Brisbane being challenged by West Coast, and we've seen last night Sydney lower their... Was it last night?
Yep, yeah, to Adelaide.
Mixed up with days.
I feel like there's a lot of games on at the moment.
With Sydney and Adelaide. But quite frankly, we watched their 11 and 13 times respectively going inside 50. Players fell over, tripped over, pushed blokes in the back and still couldn't kick. And I'm going to say something about Kemp's shot on goal here. This is not unusual for a player from 45 metres out or thereabouts missing everything, couldn't even make the distance because they've made the player paranoid about a fictitious line that is imaginary at the best, and they're not allowing the natural instinct of the player to come out and hit the mark, or either that or it hasn't been explained properly to the players. You are allowed to kick the football directly over the man on the mark. If we had Buddy Franklin here, he starts at a 90-degree angle before he releases the football, and we allowed that because it was his natural, long as he kicked it over the man on the mark. Kemp there was paranoid about staying straight. It's not natural for a right-footer to stay dead set straight. His right leg is then going to be across his body. It is always going to go left, and they choke. So we're going to have to clean it up because we don't want to... We give the forwards 30 seconds to have a shot on goal, and yet we can't give them the opportunity to kick the goal through their natural instinct. So anyway, getting back to the game, I don't know about you, Kel, but it deteriorated. The better players stand out. The bottom players are, at the moment, we've seen drop marks. Young Lord, with all due respect to him, the ball comes to him, he sits him on the chest, he falls over 40 metres out, smack bang in front of the goal. That was almost the way half a dozen players played in the last... Hand pass of Pendlebury straight to McGovern. Hand pass of Dean straight to the Carlton player who kicked the goal. It's almost like who makes the least number of mistakes is going to win this game.
Don't get me started on the stand rule or the man of the mark rule, because I could go on about it all day. I think that's been...
Let's do it.
It would be a record. Well, it would be a record, wouldn't it? It seems like that from the box of how many 50-minute penalties there were in that sort of first half. But either way, I think it's really, really hard to actually see who has control of this game. It's very, very patchy. I actually thought, I mentioned it during the call, Mick, with you in that second term, Carlton going inside 50 looked a lot better. They were playing the game with a little bit more pace on it. They lowered their eyes. Their forwards were a lot more spread, so they actually found opportunities going inside 50. They just couldn't execute. They had a couple of drop marks there, which was really, really disappointing. In terms of the numbers, guess who from Collingwood? Nick Dacos has 16 possessions. Wouldn't say his influence is massive on the game. His kicking efficiency is actually at 67%, which I'd probably think would be low.
Score involvements are high, though.
Exactly right. So Darcy Cameron with 14 touches. I know, Mick, you've made plenty of comment about him through the quarter. He's probably reaping the benefits of the long down the line play that Collingwood the Carlton are making. Paddy Cripps, George Hewitt, 15 for Cripps, 14 for Hewitt. I actually think who's probably been their best player is Nick Haynes. I know he had probably a pretty ordinary disposal late in that second quarter, which probably cost him, but he probably seems like he's actually finding a bit of form behind the ball. Seems to be reading the play as best as I've seen him for probably a number of years. He had that patch at the GWS Giants where he was basically getting tagged off half-back. So I thought he's had a really good game. Harry Dean's been really serviceable. But, I don't know, it just feels like it's been a really, really clumsy second quarter.
Can I throw names that you we just expect more from? I know I do. And I just don't... I don't believe these players are putting themselves in a position to be the player that the club wants. First and foremost, Big H is off the ground. Naturally, to me, McGovern then has to take over the aerial stuff. He may not be as big, but he can jump as high and he can present himself. McGovern's had 2 and 1. He's still got the same. The Guernsey can be put away. It's got no sweat on it, no dirt on it, and it makes you wonder what it's worth, because even if they auction it off, they get bugger all for it. Because honestly, why would you? He has been so ordinary, a player like McGovern, who's fighting for a contract every year, he should be saying, I will take everything in the air. Because, I know they're trying to spread the kick, but inevitably Darcy gets where the ball is. Jump over Darcy, or at least jump where you can compete with him. And get yourself involved, because at the moment, they rely on young Kemp. Now, he's not enough. He's skinny and
he has to go on the ruck now as well.
Yeah, that's right. Chera, I've said before, it just doesn't do enough for me. Haywood's not doing enough. Evans okay. Kemp's, well, you can't do much about Kemp. Young Reedy can't do much more. I reckon Walsh is, to me, is a player that should be getting 35. He should be getting as many possessions as Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos' work ethic, he may not... See, I love Nick Dacos. They all go, he doesn't get the hard ball. He works like a Trojan. Yeah. And he runs as quick as he possibly can, and he's quick. Walsh is not as quick, but why not get and run into spots better and quicker and demand the football? Because at the moment, he is, even if he's sitting near Nick Dacos, and I get it about stoppages, but he's going to hurt him the other way. And he's, at the moment, I see Walsh get the football here on this wing, and he kicks it across to the other wing. And what comes out of it? Nothing comes out of it. Nick Dacos gets it, kicks it, and then creates the next ball into the forward line. Walsh inside 50s, 1.
Yeah, he's got to be Carlton's line breaker, doesn't he?
1. Oh, well, having said that, Nick Dacos is none, which I find extraordinary. Anyway, I won't go there. But Walsh, for Carlton to get back in the game, they've got to get Cripps to play forward, because he can take a mark. So that means his time in the middle is going to be 15% less. Walsh must take over. Chera must take over. Young Smith's too young to put that heavy load onto him. He's going pretty well anyway. Conversely, Collingwood, I think their top players are playing well. I think their back line, they're not getting a lot of the football, don't need to. I'm surprised that it's only 8 points, quite frankly, because I think the right players are getting the football for Collingwood.
Both sides have had the same amount of inside 50s, 26 apiece. The Blues have kicked 3 of their 4 goals from stoppages. That's probably the area in which, if Josh Fraser can get them on top in that area of the game, they'll be able to score more. Well, the Magpies have kicked 2 of their 6 goals from stoppages. So the Magpies 6-2-38, leading by 8 points, as Mick said, over the Blues. 4-6-30. Harry Mackay ruled out of the game with a left knee injury after the first 10 minutes of the game. So individual goals to Kemp and McGovern, while for the Magpies, 2 goals to Dan Stay. Earlier today, it was Fremantle who prevailed by 28 points over Port Adelaide. The Dockers trailed by 12 points at half-time. Fremantle took control with 5 goals in 13 minutes. Jai Amos with 4 goals, and Jaguar Amira, unfortunately, an ankle injury. While the D's are into the top 4 with a 16-point win over North Melbourne. The Kangas led early, but Melbourne took control after half-time. They booted 9-4 after quarter-time, and the Demons prevailing, even though North kicked the last 3 goals of the game. Matthew Jefferson with 4 goals, but Daniel Turner had to head to hospital after the game, so a sour note for the Demons. And Darcy Fogarty, also the match review officer, finding him suspended for 3 games for striking Sydney's Harry Cunningham. So careless conduct, severe impact and high contact. So it'll be interesting to see if Adelaide try to appeal that. Halftime here at the MCG, Collingwood by 8 points, while over in Perth, it's the West Coast Eagles who lead at the moment, 5-2-32, leading the Brisbane Lions 3-5-23. The second half still to come, but let's bring the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has strongly criticised views expressed by One Nation Senator Malcolm Roberts. The ABC has revealed that Senator Roberts falsely claimed COVID-19 vaccination dramatically increased miscarriage rates, contradicting medical evidence. The previously unreported remarks were made during a live stream discussion with prominent Australian anti-vaccine mandate activists. Mr Albanese says that Roberts has a history of promoting conspiracy theories.
Saying things that were simply not true, in many cases saying things that are dangerous, such as being anti-vaccination. His views are not worthy of being a senator.
Officials in Kuwait say a fire has broken out at a power generation and water desalination plant after an Iranian attack. Larry Buttrose has more.
Officials say several power generation units were shut down after the attack. They say efforts are underway to contain the fire and carry out repairs. Earlier, Kuwait closed its airspace and rescheduled flights following attacks by Iranian missiles and drones. Officials in Bahrain say their forces have also been intercepting Iranian aerial attacks. The Iranian launches on US Gulf allies follow a seventh consecutive day of US strikes on Iran, the latest targeting the central city of Yurts, as well as renewed attacks in the south and near the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian officials say 8 people have died in the latest US strikes.
Authorities in Laos are being urged to enforce harsher punishment on those responsible for a 2024 mass methanol poisoning incident that killed 6 tourists, including 2 young Australians. As Sasha Payne reports, the Australian government wants more done, and the victims' families say they're outraged.
They said ahead of the charges that they were too lenient, that no one's been accountable for their beloved children's deaths. The Australian government has also expressed its disappointment. They have increased their travel advice warnings to level 2, saying that travellers should exercise a high degree of caution in the country. They've specifically mentioned the risk of methanol poisoning and a lack of transparency in the justice system.
Pressure is mounting on the federal government to scrap its job-ready graduate scheme as expensive university degrees make it harder for young Australians to buy a home. With the details, here's Patricia Tiano.
Under the 2021 program, nursing, computing, teaching and engineering degrees were made cheaper to incentivize students to study in fields the government deemed a priority, while the cost of humanities, arts and law degrees shot up dramatically. Education Minister Jason Clare acknowledges the scheme failed, but hasn't acted, saying he's awaiting advice from the Tertiary Education Commission, which is conducting a broader review into university expenditure. 300,000 domestic students are estimated to be enrolled in the most expensive degrees next year, paying minimum yearly contributions of over $18,000.
A southern Tasmanian man is in hospital after being bitten by a shark at Bruny Island in Tasmania's south. Jasmine Snow takes up the story.
A 31-year-old man had been diving this morning with 2 other people at a depth of 8 metres, approximately 50 metres offshore from Coal Point, Adventure Bay on Bruny Island. He was bitten on the forearm by what is believed to be a 2-metre-long broad-nosed 7-gill shark. The man was able to return to shore and was assisted by fellow divers who contacted emergency services this morning about 9 o'clock. Police Inspector Darren Latham says the man sustained non-life-threatening injuries to his lower forearm and was flown by a rescue helicopter to the Royal Hobart Hospital in a stable condition. Police are patrolling the area by boat and have not seen any further sightings of the shark.
And police say although it seems to be an isolated incident, swimmers and divers in the area are asked to stay vigilant. A 19-year-old driver has suffered minor injuries after his car ended up in the sea in Bowen in North Queensland. Police say the man drove his 4-wheel drive off the end of the Soldiers Road in the town's north, coming to rest on its driver's side in knee-deep water at around 7:30 this morning. Police say the driver suffered a medical episode. The Queensland Fire Department says the man was already out of the car when the swift water search personnel arrived for him. This is ABC News.
Beneath the heat and dust lies gemstones, secrets and murder.
This is homicide.
Nothing stays buried forever. The suspenseful new crime drama, Treasure and Dirt, starts Sunday, July 19 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
From the restart, Smith roves it, has a shot towards goal, and he snuck it through. And that means that's 3 on the trot for the Blues. Dean picks it up, he hand passes it away straight to Longo, hand passes to West, snap for goal. A quick goal coming from the Pies from a stoppage inside forward 50. And West gets the goal this time. The ball in, Swanling takes it, hand passes away, straight to McGovern. He snaps the goal. A beautiful finish off a step from McGovern.
At half forward, and Bo McCreary has it. And hasn't kicked a goal since round 12 against the Western Bulldogs. From right on 50, Bo McCreary sets sail for home and gets it there. Collingwood take back the lead by 2 points. In the direction of Anderson, it clears he and Cowan. Membry gathers, hand pass to Harrison, looks up, Ned Long's on the lead in the pocket, tries to slap it to Harrison's advantage, gave it back to Long. Good build up, centre and kick, Crisp takes the mark. Brilliant. He can hand pass it into the goal square to go. He kicks around his shoulder, and that's a great finish for Collingwood.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Half-time at the MCG. Collingwood leading Carlton by 8 points in front of 80,000 plus here at the MCG. The push for finals is on for both of these sides, with the Pies sitting in 9th spot and Carlton in 12th. The Pies 6-2-38 to Carlton 4-6-30. I'm Matt Clinch alongside Lauren Borton calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. Cal Sinclair and Mick Moldhouse are your experts on ABC Sport. Earlier, Fremantle winners by 28 points as they look to close in on the minor premiership, coming from behind against Port Adelaide. Jai Amos booted 4 goals. The only downside, an ankle injury to Jager O'Meara. While the Demons are into the top 4 after a 16-point win over North Melbourne. The D's taking control from quarter time onwards. They booted 9 goals to 4. The only downside was Daniel Turner finished the afternoon in hospital, while Changriff Jaff also has an injury concern as well. But Matthew Jefferson with 4 goals. The Kangas booted the last 3 goals of the game, but the Demons winners by 16 points. While over in Perth, it's the Eagles who lead 5-2-32 to the Brisbane Lions 3-6-24. Loz and Cal, one of the most bizarre injuries in which you'll see. Harley Reid, the poster boy of the West, unfortunately has rolled his ankle while off the ground. So on the bench having a chat on the phone, has gone to step off a little ledge they have in the back row where the seats are, and has rolled his ankle in the process.
It can happen. No, it can. Like, you'd be really surprised about the unusual injuries that happen that you don't see that happen off field. Those dugouts, there are weird steps out there. Like we've all had a shocker. The one I remember was playing at West Coast once, and Josh Kennedy had a tennis ball thrown at him. And it hit him in the eye.
That's right, yeah.
It hit him in the eye, and he missed about 2 or 3 weeks from that. And then I think it was John Worsfold at the time said, absolutely no more tennis, no more basketball, no more rugby. It's football zone. But, Mick, we're talking about unusual injuries that have happened.
Well, Callum Mills has had a couple for the Sydney Swans, hasn't he?
Yes.
He did.
Jordan Ngoe's had one.
So the Callum Mills one where it was like...
Was there a dog involved in this one?
No, there was one about...
He was trying to jump.
He was playing gridiron, apparently, right? So the real story what happened was is that...
here we go.
The real story that happened was is that we're walking just to to go get a sandwich at the local cafe on our lunch break one day, and we just had this like little mini gridiron ball, and one just threw it, right, and just went to, and then thrown just a little bit to the right, and he literally just put a foot out, right, just to go and grab it. Bang, foot's gone, everything like that. Get back into the footy club. John Longmire has in his mind gone, on our lunch break, we're playing gridiron and, it's 18 v 18. It's like, no, it wasn't the case. He just put his foot there. And, he ended up missing a whole season, which is unfortunate. I think there was a Mad Monday one with Cal as well. So that one didn't help. But there are unusual injuries that do happen.
Didn't Jordan go and get bitten by a dog?
Yep. I just want to...
Did he? Jamie Cripps missed his flight once because he got stung by a stingray. Mate, a stingray,
I just want to know who's making the phone call to the coach, which Mick might have been on the receiving end across the journey.
Had some crackers.
Do you have any bizarre injuries that spring to mind for players?
Bizarre injuries.
Take it on notice. Have a think about it and see if one comes to hand, because the players are heading back out in position. The third round of the US of the British Open, Lucas Herbert, the great storyline yesterday. So he starts his round at 8 under, 2 shots clear at the top. While over in Perth, it's the Eagles 5-3-33 to the Brisbane Lions 3-7-25. One of our listeners getting in touch on the SMS. Steve from Ballarat. Thanks, Mick. I'm a Blues fan, but I've got to agree with the criticism of Sam Walsh. We'll bring some more of those throughout the next few moments. Listening in from Germany, says Lisa. Go Pies. Second half underway.
Collingwood ahead by 8 points. Pendlebury with the clearance just puts it out into some space. It'll be Lord running onto it for the Blues. Can get there first as DeGoey just pushing him over the line. So we'll have a boundary throwing on the outer side of the ground. Just forward of centre wing. Collingwood kicking towards the city end in this third term. Ahead by 8 points. Of course, a final spot on the line for both of these two sides. Carlton with their loss against Hawthorn last week in the rain after winning seven straight. Collingwood haven't lost since coming back from the bye as the ball is tossed in. Pendlebury can't grab it. Cripps gets to it. Then Allen's in there to try and pull it away for the Pies. Wins it, hand passes it to Pendlebury. Hand pass to Lipinski. Still hard up against the boundary. Hand passes back to Nick Dacos, who skies the footy inside forward 50 for the Pies. McStay can't mark. Brings it to ground. Dean's there. Just puts the ball up high. Still in defensive 50 for the Blues. Walsh takes it. He gets tackled. Ball spills out. Quaynor has it. Centre half forward for the Pies. Sets it up beautifully for Steele Sidebottom, who was standing in some space just inside forward 50 for Collingwood.
I'd like to see where Steele was playing at this stage because there's outside of Pendlebury, he's the next most experienced but also smart player. He would know exactly what's happening in front of him. I've got a funny feeling is he coming for half back or wing?
He had an absolute paddock.
Didn't he? No one picked him up at all. So that's why I say he's smart enough to find that space. And he's good for this distance too.
Steele Sidebottom, 52 metres out. Gives it everything he's got. It's just short. Gets kept in play by Wilson, who moves it towards Cowan in the back pocket. Goes back to Wilson. He hand passes inward. Anderson brings it to ground, and Wilson's still back there to collect it. Hand pass it to Cowan, who hurries a kick outside of defensive 50. It's out of bounds on the full. And Collingwood will still hold on to the footy via Isaac Quaynor, who has it about 60 metres out from goal. Pies ahead by 8 points, no change to the halftime score.
The Blues have the majority of their numbers inside the defensive 50, so Quaynor retreats back with a kick to Maynard, who swings down on the left, sends it inside 50. Cowan flies, it clears he and Anderson. McCreary at the back gathers. Hand pass to Lipinski, hand pass Mr. Goey. Evans tried to throw a boot at it. DeGoey's still there, trying to gather. Hand pass over his shoulder, looking for Chris. Carlton desperately defending. Cooper Lord lays the tackle with the support of Hayward and Frankie Evans, and a ball up 20 metres out from Collingwood's goal.
And that's the opportunities that Mick's been speaking about. Missed handball, and it just costs you an opportunity in front of goal when goals are just so valuable in this low-scoring game.
Reedy and Cameron spills down to Lipinski. Kick is smothered here. Dean tries to knock it away. Wilson had it, lost it. Ed Allen trying to knock it clear. Spills away. McCreary over his shoulder. Puts it through for his second. There was lots of chaotic bodies going left, right and centre, and players weren't sure exactly what was going on. Bo McCreary just took it and snapped it through for a goal. Collingwood with the first goal of the third quarter inside 3 minutes to extend their lead to 14 points. 7-2-44 to the Blues, 4-6-30. Mick Malthouse and Cal Sinclair with you on ABC Sport.
It was almost inevitable, Cal. There was so many bodies near the ball, had the ball, half the ball, never cleared the ball. What it took was a Wiedering to be that presence down there to demand or get rid of it or yell out or something. They just didn't seem to have any method of breaking out of that line, and hence gave the ball back to Collingwood probably 3 or 4 times. The Pies could have kicked a goal out of probably the last 2 minutes, quite frankly.
Back in the middle, Pies ahead by 14 early stages of the third term. Cameron just soccers it away from the centre circles. There's a free kick though, and it is coming back to Sam Walsh.
Well, that's better. He's got his head over the football. Not to say he doesn't, but he just needs to more often.
Long kick will go inside 50 here for the Blues. It'll be stopped by Maynard, who just pushes it forward ahead of him. Cottrell gets there, takes it, then takes the tackle from Josh Dacos, who wraps him up inside forward 50 for Carlton. Their ball up 35, 40 metres out from their attacking goal. It's punched away down to the turf. Cripps tries to paddle it away, but it's picked up by Pendlebury. Hand pass away to Crisp. He just dumps the kick into some space along the broadcast wing. Cowan chasing after it, chases it all the way over the boundary line for a lasso free kick. Anderson will win it, and he wants to move the ball on quickly. Squares up the footy to DeGoey. Centre wing for the Pies. It's touched off the boot. It defects all the way to Wilson, who can pick it up for the Blues. Hand pass to Florent. Hand pass to Hewitt, who just chips it to centre half back. where Evans will mark and he can flare it out wide, and McGovern will take it for Carlton.
Working a long way up the ground. He marks centre wing on the Shane Warne stand side. Collingwood by 14 points. Kicks out wider still to Cooper Lord.
I was just watching McGovern. He got that first kick. He's hardly moved since. They need him in the forward line. Now he's running in there.
Now he's trying to get a wriggle on. Inboard to Kemp, but now to Hewitt. He hasn't spotted McGovern running inside 50 in the right forward pocket. Now kicks it centrally in that direction. Off the hands of Cripps. At the back of the pack, Maynard against the boundary line. Keeps it alive. Hand pass to Jack Crisp, who feeds the hand pass to Josh Dacos. Looks up the wing. Lipinski the target. Getting there, Haynes got a hand to it, but Lipinski kept his feet. Haynes crashes into the fence. Kicks up the wing, Lipinski. Marked in the end by West. Centering ball now to Pendlebury. Collingwood have the overlap. Hand pass to Nick Dacos. Looks up and stay on the lead. Takes the mark. Dean trailing him like a caravan. And Collingwood won the battle on the wing. And in the end, delivered the ball inside 50 beautifully to Dan McStay.
I watched McStay really closely there. He didn't sort of overcommit to the lead. Really paused, double back, 2 or 3 efforts. Really timed. That was like a training drill, Mick, when you go out to the wing and you bring it inside.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that sort of leading pattern mechanism, and it was executed beautifully. Another one, Nick Dacos, going inside 50.
Dan McStay had 2 goals in the opening quarter from almost directly in front, 40 out. He misses to the right-hand side, and a minor score. Collingwood by 15 points. Poppy Penny's down on the boundary for us tonight. Pops, the conditions and the atmosphere down there from your point of view?
Yeah, it's an absolutely packed house. It is getting significantly colder. It wasn't too cold by the start of the game, but it's definitely getting a little bit chillier. I've got an update on the interchange thing, which I'll fill you in on a little bit later when we have a stoppage.
Thanks, Poppy. I look forward to hearing on this. If there were 19 men on the field.
Scoop.
The scoops Penny downstairs in the front row of the boundary for us. Not half scoop. It is Carlton working the ball all along the wing, right in front of our broadcast position. Akers turns it over. Allen can't pick it up for the Pies. It allows Walsh a chance to take it for the Blues. Hand pass to Florent. He spots up Wilson. Centre half back for the Blues. Gets dispossessed of the footy. Works for Cowan, though, who can work it across to Haynes in the centre of the MCG. He'll flare it out wide. And it'll be marked by Lord. Outer side of the ground, below the Shane Warne stand sign. Inside forward 50, he spears the pass to Evans, who had a little gup on Frampton. It was enough to hold on to the mark.
Well, that's better movement, although the Boreas and Collingwood were able to get their numbers back. But Frampton's an effective backline player. So that's a good mark against him. A lot of people don't like Billy Frampton, but he does a fantastic job, and he's a premiership player. Yep. This is a long way out for this kick. I just don't think he's got it in him.
Frankie Evans has Frampton 49 metres out. Instead, he tries to dab it into the right forward pocket. Cripps marks. Got separation on Pendlebury. Just worked him off the footy. Takes the mark. Beautifully spotted by Evans, and now Cripps will have a shot, difficult angle, right forward pocket.
Let me tell you about Paddy. He's not a good left foot kick, and this could almost be beyond his distance. It's only 30 metres, but it's going to be
He tightens up with.
Well, he's not good.
Carlton currently down by 15 points. His captain Paddy Cripps takes his shot. It's completely across the face. It won't register a score. It'll stay in play until Cottrell does the tackling on Lipinski, and this will be a ball up in the left forward pocket for the Blues.
I'm just a tip for Paddy. Do a boomerang.
Yeah.
Get the left foot. You're not good enough. You should understand it over about 10 years.
You're all over it, Mick. He was hesitating and almost stepped off his line as he was trying to work out whether he had a drop punt or a snap across his body. In the end, he couldn't control it. Allen volleys it up to half-back. West gathers for Collingwood. Hand pass to Perryman. Pressure comes from Cottrell. Good kick. Up the wing to Anderson. Didn't have a lot of room, but found a target. Hand pass to Josh Dacos. Over the top to Decoe. They've got the overlap. Membry at right half forward. Takes the mark. Drives it long inside 50. McStay's against 2. And it takes the mark.
Great mark.
No, won't be paid. Won't be paid.
Look good, though.
Got rid of Dean, and then Cooper Lord came crashing in. Now, the free kick is against McStay for a shove in the back. As Harry Dean stood his ground, it's unfortunately a Impressive mark that's not paid. Carlton have turned it over. Lipinski takes it back for Collingwood. Pendlebury lost his footing. Wilson cleans it up for the Blues. Hand pass inboard. Clever from Cripps. Knocked it on to Jagger Smith. To Turkson through the middle of the ground. Hewitt had to sidestep. Cameron did well. Cripps on the overlap to Evans. They've got it to half forward. Wilson runs onto it from 45 out. McGovern's in the goal square. He takes the mark against the behind line. On what looked like was going to be a Collingwood mark inside 50, became a Carlton free kick. They ran the gauntlet and they got it to McGovern on the goal line.
Yeah, well, McGovern's got the mark. It should have been kicked 30 metres shorter to a player who was in between McGovern and the kicker and right in front, but it's made it awkward. But
now
he's a better left foot kick, Matty.
Has to finish the work, Mick. 2 steps, opens up the angle and snaps it through. And McGovern puts through his second. And in the absence of Harry Mackay tonight out after 10 minutes of the game with a left knee injury, he might need to play a role. Mitch McGovern becomes the first multiple goal kicker for the Blues tonight. And the margin is back to 9 points Collingwood's way. Collingwood 7-3-45 to Carlton 5-6-36. A goal apiece in the third quarter through 11 minutes. Mick Moldhouse and Cal Sinclair, your experts on ABC Sport.
I feel they'll score when they're playing with a bit more pace on the ball. In that first quarter, it was just so frustrating seeing them, I guess, pull back off the mark, way too much and go long down the line. But they look a little bit more exciting, dare I say, when Harry Mackay's sort of out, when they don't have that option. A lot of those medium and small forwards get on their bike a bit better.
Yeah, you're right. As long as Collingwood settle, that's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
Margin cut back to single digits. Walsh grabs the footy, hand passes it to Smith. Quick kick inside 50. The hand pass comes from Byrne across to Evans. He was falling to his right. Still got the snap away. It's just offline. Again, they went with pace, Carlton. That's just to behind. Collingwood's lead cut back to 8 points. 5-7-37 the Blues. Collingwood 7-3-45. 11 minutes played in the third.
Over in Perth, it's still the Eagles leading Brisbane by 9 points in the second quarter. Josh Dacos brings Collingwood back into play. Kick to half back. Frankie Evans is tackled by Isaac Quainer. And the umpire will ball it up at right half forward for the Blues. Collingwood 7-3-45. Carlton 5-7-37. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Poppy Penny on the boundary. Mick Moldhouse and Cal Sinclair, your experts. Hewitt gets the clearance. Hand pass to Walsh. Feeds it to Florent. Around his body inside 50. Ricochets off Reedy and Cameron. Spills out in the pocket. Still a chance for the Blues. Hand pass comes over the top from Hayward. The shot from Lord right to the goal line. No mark claim. Collingwood desperately defending. And sent away by Maynard from Ainsworth and over the boundary line in the left forward pocket for the Blues.
He's looking dangerous, Byrne.
Yeah, he
is. He's been a good call from you earlier. I've watched him a little bit closely since we've...
Well, he's learned a lot in 2/3 of the season. He really he's grown into his position.
All tossed inside 50. Cameron gets front position in the ruck. Nick Dacos grabs the footy, gets tackled, just gets a hand pass away. Cottrell's there to gather it throw for the Blues. Hand passes to Evans. Another dinky little kick. And he finds Ainsworth this time inside forward 50. Another shot from just tougher than a 45-degree angle as everyone's coming to the forward 50 to have a little bit of a push and a shove.
What that's about, Lyle, is the fact that Dacos got tackled to the ground and at the turnover, and the Carlton players have gone to the tackler, and the Collingwood players have reacted.
So meanwhile, Ben Ainsworth is taking his shot on goal. It's online. It's his second for the match. And Collingwood is ahead by just 2 points. They got out by as much as 16 in the first term. And with 2 goals on the trot for the Blues, it is now Collingwood ahead by just 2 points. Carlton, 6-7-43. The Pies, 7-3-45. Before the thoughts of our ABC Sport experts, down to Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, that's a great goal by Carlton, but they're going to need things like that because Adam Chera has got ice on his right hamstring and is sitting with his jacket on at the front of the bench, but it looks like his night is done. So they're down to 3 on the bench.
Well, they still should be able to get through. That's an interesting one, though, because I guess it's another runner. But I'm just saying to Kel, it's 25 to 36 possessions. Carlton are actually, for the first time, I know they've had more possessions than Collingwood in both quarters, but it's the first time you've actually thought that their possessions are meaningful. It's get it ball forward, contest the ball in the forward line, create opportunity.
Blues back within 2 points with the last 2 goals of the game. Reedy one down the tap. Walsh beaten to it. Hand pass from Cameron.
50.
And this will be 50 as the ball is kicked away by Ned Long. So a Blues free kick in the middle of the ground. It's going to go the way of Sam Walsh, and he'll be taken from...
Well, Walsh has picked his game up too, Matt. But I've got to say, if we've got a full stadium, we didn't hear a whistle. We were watching the play. We didn't see a whistle. Hear a whistle. So I'm not sure that Collingwood players should be penalised for that. You don't think he's really purposely run away and kicked the ball away. No. So he clearly does not think it's the
players are smart enough to know the consequence of doing that.
That's
what
right.
a moment this is for Sam Walsh. Directly in front, 40 metres out to give the Blues the lead. And the Carlton fans are up to the MCG. 2 players down with Mackay and Chera out, and yet Carlton surged to the lead by 4 points. 7-7-49 to Collingwood, 7-3-45. After the free kick for a throw against Darcy Cameron, then the ball was kicked away by Ned Long, meaning a 50-metre penalty brought Sam Walsh within striking distance. Poppy Penny down on the boundary.
Yeah, George Hewitt's just having some work done on his lower back. They just put some cream on there, and he had a little bit of work done. So they're going to hope he can keep going, because otherwise they're down to 2 on the bench early or halfway through this third quarter.
We asked for Sam Walsh to be a line breaker, Mick. He got a bit fortunate there, but he did finish in front of goal.
No wonder he's got a sore back, George Hewitt, who's been asked to ruck in this quarter.
Yeah.
He was rucking in the for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Carlton now ahead by 4 points. Cameron rises high in the ruck, misses the tap out anyway in the end. Here is Walsh, takes a bounce, runs into Chris, can't get past a second, and Long tackles Walsh to the ground and stops him from going beyond centre half forward.
If he kicks that football when he should have, that ball's in the 10-yard square, and it's a 6-6-6, so there's no coverage.
Ned Long, centre half back for the Pies. They've conceded the most recent 3 goals of the game, kicks it out to a contest where Reedy taps it away, then it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in.
One of the things I've just noticed, if I can just say very quickly, on kickoffs, Cameron takes position, half forward for Collingwood comes up and blocks the ruckman so Cameron can go for it. It's a great bit of play. It's the first time I've actually seen it, so I'm sure the opposition must pick it up if we've picked it up.
So here they go, Reedy and Cameron in the ruck. Cameron works to front position, can punch it away. It comes down. Walsh is tracking it back first. He's on the turf of the MCG, trying to gather it. Long's in a tussle with him. They both tangle. And it'll be a ball up. Centre wing, Carlton ahead by 4 points, just regaining the lead. 5 lead changes in the match so far. 17 minutes played in the third.
Interesting. Nick Dacos off the ground instructing Jack Crisp where he should be. Reedy takes it out of the ruck, sends it up to half forward. Puncher takes the mark.
It's a good mark.
The mid-season recruit worked Brody Kemp underneath the footy and takes the mark for Collingwood at right half back. From being an accountant in South Australia to featuring at the MCG. Kicks up towards Cameron. Can't take the mark. Haynes crashes into him. To go, he tries to knock it out. To Crisp of Collingwood. To Membry against the boundary line. Hand pass along the turf out in front of McCreary at right half forward. Looks inside 50. Kick a little wide in the end for West. Spoiled away by the Blues. Dean slipped over. Hand pass to Dirksen. Ricochets off. Jack Crisp. Still alive for Collingwood. Lipinski races after it. Newman knocks it back. And in the end, Harry Dean sees it out of play. A boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Collingwood at the city end. The Blues are in front by 4 points.
They're getting pumped at centre bounce, the Blues. Collingwood. Blues are right on top. And I'm not sure what they are this quarter, but need to sort it out, Collingwood.
Tossed inside forward 50 for the Blues. Cameron just a little tap out the back, but here is Walsh again. He's lifted in the third term. Clears it outside a defensive 50 towards McGovern. A couple of hands, couldn't take the mark. Allows Maynard it in for Collingwood to put the footy inside forward 50 deep. It ricochets back to Membry. He snaps. And Membry goals just to stop the flow of Carlton's momentum and for Collingwood to take back the lead. It's helped by Tim Membry and his second goal for the evening. Collingwood 8-3-51 are ahead of the Blues 7-7-49. 19 minutes played in the third term. Cal Sinclair and Mick Malthouse, your ABC Sport experts.
Well, I think it was a terrific spoil, but that's the consequence of spoiling it straight back into the corridor. The corridor part of the play. And Haynes just overcommitted there and just lost his man, Membry, in the middle of the ground, which was... It's a little bit of a coach killer if I'm being honest. He just sort of got caught in between the contest and Membry, who just kind of sagged off, and was in a real dangerous part of the ground there, Mick, but either way, it was a good finish, and it was the goal that Collingwood needed.
Yeah, it certainly was. It's just a settler. The momentum of Carlton was extraordinary, and the enthusiasm went up, so that might just dampen it a little bit.
After the Blues have kicked 3 of the 4 goals, Collingwood take back the lead. Ready out of the middle of the ground. Hand pass to Jagger Smith. Loose hand pass to Cottrell. Loses it. Taken back by Houston. Hand pass to Pendlebury. Away to Nick Dacos. Now feeds it to Crisp. Kicks up towards Membry at half forward. Rises up against Haynes. Can't take the mark. Races back onto it. Gets the hand pass away to McCreary. 2 goals for him tonight. Hand pass inboard to Nick Dacos. Heard the crowd of McGovern coming. Sidesteps him. Kicks inside 50. Underneath it, Harvey Harrison. Sport away. Longs the Crummer. Curls on goal. Back-to-back goals for Collingwood. Both Crumming goals as well. And the Magpies take back command here at the MCG. They all of a sudden lead by 8 points once more. 9-3, 57. To Carlton, 7-7-49. The high ball inside 50, not quite working for Collingwood, but they are getting in good positions when the Blues spoil it to the front.
Yeah, there's no question over the ground. Carlton are probably half inch to an inch shorter. So they have to either the big mark, McGovern dropped one in front of us, he had his hands to it, dropped it, the ball goes forward, they kick a goal. So that one there, it's almost a replica of the Membry goal. Punched back, Membry gets it 20 metres out, directly in front. That one there, over the top, punched it back, directly in front. Long picks it up, kicks a goal. When you're spoiling the ball, you hit it at the ground or you hit it to the fence.
Hewitt from the middle, back on the field after getting some attention on his back, gets the clearance only as far as side bottom, who clears it up for the Pies. Hand pass to Houston, hand passes it across to Josh Dacos, moves it out wide to Harrison, who marks, centre wing outer side of the ground for the Pies. Now ahead by 8 points. He can kick it to left half forward where it comes towards West. It comes off his shin, and that'll be a lasso free kick the way of the Pies.
It should be a lasso free kick.
The Blues, rather.
Wow. The boundary umpire just having a chat as to whether it came off his leg, above the knee or below. I don't think anyone's really all that sure.
It's very low down. I'm with you, Cal. It looks like a pretty...
if it comes off the shin, it's come off the shin.
And he's sliding along the turf, so it makes it even harder.
And they've made the ball.
The inside of the knee, I guess, is what it came off. So it is a throwing at half forward for the Pies. No lasso free kick for the Blues. It's thrown in. Hewitt does the tackling, and it does well to allow Smith to come in, hand pass it across to Akers, hand pass to Cripps, who puts the kick looking in the direction of Evans, but it's Crisp that stuck up a hand, stopped it, and then takes the mark, and he can send Collingwood to half forward.
Good effort, spoiling it, and then was able to take the mark as it ricocheted in the air.
Got their tail up, Collingwood. They're going to be hard to stop now.
To McCreary, who marks it right half forward. He's one of 3 Magpie players who have kicked 2 goals. McStay and Membry sends it inside 50. Membry's the target, spalls to the front. This is where Collingwood a bit dangerous. De Goey crashes into Patrick Cripps, spills out the Magpies' way. It's gathered by Swadling. It opens up in front of him and he puts through the goal. Collingwood with 3 quick goals to take command. And the Magpies all of a sudden skip out to a 14-point advantage. 10-3-63 to Carlton, 7-7-49. It hasn't been all that pretty for Collingwood, but it has been effective in front of goal. And the opportunity for the VFL Magpie, who now gets his chance at AFL level, Sam Swadling, is able to put through his 4th goal of the season. Cal Sinclair and Mick Moldhouse with you on ABC Sport.
Well, it feels like it's that secondary sort of possession that goes inside 50. The 2 Crumming goals, Mick, the one there from ground level. Not sure who helped him out there, but great finish there from Sam Swadling. I think Clinchy, we've watched him a fair bit at VFL level. Seems probably a class above, you'd probably say, at VFL level. Clinchy,
had 40 disposals in the game against Sydney off half-back, so
seems to be taking his opportunity at AFL level, so good on him.
Back in the middle, Hewitt takes it for the Blues and just puts the kick to half forward again. It's a hurried one, and Houston's there to collect for the Pies.
There's too many, without making excuses, too many happen to fall over at the wrong time, Carlton. They're just not putting the pressure on.
To Allen to Maynard, and his kick was a turnover. Walsh taking the mark for the Blues, can kick it out wide where Cottrell will take it. He'll be able to put Carlton inside forward 50. McGovern tries to get a rise against Frampton, can't bring it down. Ainsworth is there. And it's a free kick coming the way of Billy Frampton.
There's another drop mark by
McGovern.
I'm going to be very hard on McGovern, but you get your hands to it in his position. You either mark it or bring the ball to ground. You don't give the ball up, which has happened now time and time again from his play.
Billy Frampton chips it to Nick Dacos, who moves it across to the broadcast side of the ground where Pat Lipinski can mark.
The voice of Lauren Borden alongside Matt Clinch calling the action. Poppy Penny on the boundary. Mick Moldhouse, Cal Sinclair, your experts. A turnover for the Pies. Akers dropped the mark. Has enough time to gather. Out past to Nick Newman. The kick just held in the air too long for Frankie Evans. And Perryman comes across and makes the spoil. Poppy Penny on the boundary for us.
Just a little update on that interchange situation in the second quarter. So after Bo McCreary kicked a goal, Josh Dacos and Darcy Cameron both came off, but only one player went on. So play was stopped, but for about 15 seconds. I believe there was 19 on the field until Puncher came off and no one else went on.
All right, thank you, Poppy. One to follow. Akers tries to get a half pass forward for the Blues. Was Cripps pushed in the back? The umpire says no.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? So is there any penalty, you'd imagine, Poppy, with that?
Well, they haven't had more players. They have more players on?
Potentially they might have had 19 players on the field. Free kick.
Not
Cripps
during play.
Shoved out of it. Hang on, Poppy. What have you got?
So not during play. The game was stopped because obviously it was after a goal that all the interchanges happened. So I'm unsure, and I'm seeking clarification from the AFL as maybe there was a blood rule, but I didn't see any blood when any of those players came off. So unless there was a blood rule, I'm not sure whether if because play was stopped, what the outcome is or the ruling is. But I have sought clarification from the AFL.
All right, we'll wait to find out.
This has got to be a captain's goal. This one, he's got to kick this to keep Carlton alive.
Patrick Cripps has got a free kick courtesy of Dan McStay with a shove in the back from the left forward pocket. He works it right to left, and this time the Carlton captain makes the moment his. Couldn't snap it from the right forward pocket, but can here when his team needs it after Collingwood had kicked the last 3 goals of the match, and it was just starting to drift away. The margin back to 8 points Collingwood's way. 10-3-63 to the Blues, 8-7-55. 4 goals apiece so far in this third quarter. That was a key moment from a careless free kick against Dan McStay, Cal Sinclair and Mick Moldhouse.
Well, it was a careless free kick, and that's if you're going to give away a free kick, don't give it in the 50-metre line or inside the 50 arc. So it's kept Carlton alive. The momentum has swung very much in Collingwood's favour. It's still 4 minutes, so it's a fifth of the quarter to go. This is where if Carlton are going to stay in the game, they've now got to either hold the game up or score again.
From the middle, tap out from Cameron straight to Cripps, who roves it. He's dispossessed of the footy. McCreary takes it, hand passes it to Degoe, fumbles it at centre half forward for the Pies, allows it in for Walsh. He's knocked off the footy. Nick Dacos picks it up, hand passes it to McCreary, running into 50. Will have a shot at goal himself. It's offline. And a minor score for the Pies.
Oh, just Carlton had the ball sewn up there, but no talk, no action, no protection. Lost the football, and very lucky that it wasn't an easy goal kicked.
And I reckon they're down on numbers. I think that Chera's out, I'm thinking, and Mackay's obviously done, so it's going to be a tough quarter and a half for them, I think.
Yeah, but you've got to look. This is where Cripps plays full forward, mate. Yeah, it's not rocket science.
Florent into Dirksen, tries to kick up the wing towards Cripps, can't take the mark. Nick Dacos off the outside of the boot, his kick is intercepted. Wilson kicks through the middle of the crowd. McGovern leads up and marks in front of Perryman.
That's well done by McGovern. He had to hold up there.
Now Collingwood had a couple loose in defence, so he just waited for time and then kicks out very wide. And Hayward sliding on his belly takes the mark at left half forward, but he's now outside 50.
The reason why McGovern had to go wide because Collingwood saturated the area.
Cameron's playing as the loose, so he tries to drive it long and in the end ends up with an unintentional shot on goal. Misses to the left from Will Hayward.
It was a lazy kick.
Lead is 8.
Sorry, Clinch. That's just a lazy kick from Hayward. No method. It was just a nothing kick. Yeah.
Houston brings it into Josh Dacos, who waits for Houston to run past him, gets the hand pass away. McGovern chasing him down. Houston can get the kick away to centre wing, outer side of the ground, but it'll be cleaned up by Ainsworth of the Blues. Hand pass to Jagger Smith, chip kick inside forward 50. McGovern marks.
Yeah, well played then. I've been harsh on McGovern, but that instant there he worked up the ground. Smith's going to be a champion for them. His first year, I know he had last year, but he was out with a knee reconstruction. He's been terrific as a young player, working through the middle and lowered the eyes and kicked to a leading So this is an opportunity for McGovern to bring that one back, particularly with only 2 minutes left.
Mitch McGovern, again, out of contract at the end of this year, but to keep Carlton well and truly in this match, it's a hacked kick forward, and it'll stay in play as Anderson goes in after it, puts his head over the footy. Hewitt tackles him.
Poorly.
McGovern's shot goes begging as Anderson takes it with the win the free kick for Collingwood, who move it through the centre of the MCG. Pendlebury hand passes it to Allen. They're looking to go end to end here. The Pies, the kick comes towards McStay in the forward 50. He taps it down. Membry's there to row. Kicks from point blank range. And end to end for the Magpies within seconds from a McGovern kick. It becomes a Membry goal. And instead of McGovern kicking his third, it's Membry who puts through goal number 3 for the Pies. 11-4-70 Collingwood. Carlton 8-8-56. 14 points Collingwood's lead as we near three-quarter time.
I think it's worthwhile applauding the work rate of Membry and McStay to get back and make a contest, because they were out Collingwood but didn't have a lot to look forward to look to. But what they did do is they actually skied the ball quite high to actually give the key forwards enough opportunity to actually get back there and make a contest. And Tim Membry, for his age, he's been pretty good at ground level today.
It's unusual, isn't it?
Hasn't missed. He's been an absolute dead-eye in front of goal. And probably worth mentioning, West Coast now are in the lead by 7 points at half-time against Brisbane Lions. So who would have thought?
The Lions with a bit of work to be done. Reedy out of the ruck, gets it towards half forward. A chance for the Blues to immediately respond. Side bottom leads, Akers to the footy. Gather's got a shove as he kicks it straight out on the full. Umpire says no further penalty, so a Carlton free kick at right half forward.
He's been, if Steele needs any reinforcement about next year, and I'm one of his greatest fans, let me tell you, it's been just a little bit sloppy today.
Yep. Akers kicks into the pocket for the Blues. Reedy the target. Spoiled down to the front. Cameron tries to work onto it. Still a chance. Ainsworth hand pass chopped off by Josh Dacos of Collingwood. Hand pass to brother Nick. Not a lot at half back, so kicks out to space. Allen did well. Presented. Taken high by Hewitt. Well, chopping the arms, says the umpire. So Collingwood are starting to win a few of these one-on-one battles. The Blues are trying to press. There's Anderson around the back to Nick Dacos. Another disposal for the number 35. Chips it inboard to Houston. And they just hold Collingwood up for the moment, leading by 14.
Yeah.
Chips it to Perryman, who marks it right half back.
Well, they've got 40 seconds to chew off the clock here. Good exercise now to either get the ball inside their front 50. Carlton have got the extra play behind, so they're doing everything right. If you've got an extra play behind, it means there's one player missing through the middle of the ground. That's what you've got to do, is locate him, and that Collingwood have been doing that beautifully at the moment.
So winding down the clock, Perryman to Houston to Frampton, backwards towards Quaynor, who's got it just outside of the defensive goal square. He'll put plenty on this kick here to have it sit on a pack. Cameron had front position, somehow pulled in the mark. Or he wasn't paid or get tackled to the turf.
He pulled that one in, didn't he?
He had front position in the contest.
Must have been touched.
So it's a stoppage now, right in front of the Carlton bench, tossed up. Walsh does his best to just paddle it forward ahead of him. And the siren will beat him from moving it any further. At three-quarter time, it's Collingwood ahead by 14 points. Again, Carlton was able to take the lead in that third quarter. They got ahead by 4 points after a Sam Walsh goal at the 15-minute mark. The 19-minute mark, though, Membry put Collingwood back in front. And they're able to lead by 14 points now at the final change. 11-4-70 Collingwood, Carlton 8-8-56. The goal kickers so far tonight for Collingwood, Tim Membry has 3, Bo McCreary has 2, Dan McStay also has 2, and then singles to Jordan Tagoe, Charlie West, Sam Swadling and Ned Long. Well, for Carlton, Mitch McGovern has a couple, and then Jagger Smith, Pat Cripps, Ben Ainsworth, Brodie Kemp and Sam Walsh, all with singles for the Blues.
So Collingwood leading by 14 points at three-quarter time here at the MCG. Meanwhile in Perth, as Cal Sinclair alluded to, it's the West Coast Eagles who lead by 7 points at half-time over the Brisbane Lions. So the Eagles 6-4-40, leading the Brisbane Lions 4-9-33.
They couldn't, could they?
Well, you wouldn't have thought so. Stranger things have happened. And that injury to Harley Reid, who was on the bench on the phone, didn't see the step and managed to roll his ankle.
I've thought of a strange injury, or something that reminds me of the Harley Reid one. Peter Dean in 1995, the premiership, when he's accepting his premiership medal and he stands on the top of the premiership podium and he falls over the top. I don't think that resulted in an injury, but a little bit Harley Reid-esque.
Well, on the SMS, 0437 774 774, Dan says, and I don't know if you can remember this, Mick, because it's well before my time, Bob Pratt missed the 1935 grand final for South Melbourne because he was clipped by a truck after stepping off a tram on the Thursday prior to the game.
I did hear that.
So I might have to get the ABC fact-check team just to confirm that for us, but...
I was listening on the radio when that happened.
But let us know the bizarre injuries in which you've heard after Harley Reid has stumbled on the bench while chatting on the phone and rolled his ankle. 0437 774 774. Great to have your company on this Saturday night. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
How much can we really know about the dead?
In our podcast, we're gossiping each week about the divas, ruffians and con men of Australia's past.
So join me, Alicia Simmons.
And me, Lee Boucher. Search the Dead Can't Sue podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Rudy and Cameron spills down to Lipinski. Kick is smothered here. Dean tries to knock it away. Wilson had it, lost it. Ed Allen trying to knock it clear. Spills away. McCreary over his shoulder. Puts it through for his second. To Dirksen through the middle of the ground. Hewitt had to sidestep. Cameron did well. Cripps on the overlap to Evans. They've got it to half forward. Wilson runs onto it from 45 out. McGovern's in the goal square. He takes the mark against the behind line. 2 steps, opens up the angle and snaps it through. And McGovern puts through his second. Sam Walsh directly in front. 40 metres out to give the Blues the lead. And the Carlton fans are up to the MCG.
Allows Maynard to put the footy inside forward 50 deep. It ricochets back to Membry. He snapped and Membry goals.
McGovern coming. Sidesteps him. Kicks inside 50. Underneath it, Harvey Harrison. Sport away. Longs the Cromer. Curls on goal. Back-to-back goals for Collingwood. Sends it inside 50. Membry's the target. Balls to the front. This is where Collingwood are a bit dangerous. De Goey crashes into Patrick Cripps. Spills out Magpie's way. It's gathered by Swadling. It opens up in front of him and he puts through the goal. Collingwood with 3 quick goals to take command.
Hand passes it to Allen. They're looking to go end-to-end here. The Pies, the kick comes towards McStay in the forward 50. He taps it down. Membry's there to rope. Kicks from point-blank range.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
3/4 time of the MCG. Collingwood by 14 points over Carlton, their arch rival. 11-4-70 to the Blues, 8-8-56. Collingwood are inside the top 10 at the moment, having won their last 4. They're in 9th position. Josh Fraser, the former Pie, now the interim coach of the Blues. His side is in 12th spot, 8 wins and 9 losses after their unbeaten run came to an end last week against the Hawks. It's a massive final term coming up. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Poppy Penny down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Mick Bolthouse and Cal Sinclair.
Well, I think we were chatting, Mick, just off air. Like, it's been a little bit difficult to kind of pick a best player. We spoke about, you made the point about Tim Membry, and I think his game, for a 10-possession game, he's kicked 3 goals, but they've been very, very important goals, and he's taken his opportunities, which is what I really, really like about Tim Membry's game. I thought McStay up forward has been quite serviceable. Nick Dacos had a lot of the footy, but you did make the point that finding a lot of it in the back half, and he's searching for a lot of ball, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So he's chasing a lot of... Look, they're
harsh, I know, yeah.
They're cheap. They're cheap around the back, and they look. It's okay if he re-sees it on the right hand side and can break the line and then use the football, which he quite often does. But when he starts to go around the left and has to create the play from his left hand side, which is not his natural side. But Hewitt's had 22, but you couldn't possibly give it to him either. Paddy Cripps has been, going at 40%. Sam Walsh picked his game up. He's gone to 20 possessions, and he did. Young Smith has been as effective as any Carlton midfielder because he's pretty clean with the football. He's gone at 86%. He's had the ball inside front 50, but only twice. And there's not a lot of players that had a lot of inside 50s. Dacos has gone from not many to 4, which is quite good, and McCreary's gone to 6. Now, his run off the high half forward through wing to half forward has been quite exceptional, actually. This is probably the best game he's played in 8 or 9 games. So it's a very appropriate time to start to play that sort of role. He comes up the ground, uses his pace. Carlton haven't got a lot of pace on the ground at the moment.
Yeah.
So yes, if you were to pick the best player today, good luck. You're picking him.
Yeah. Liam Reedy's my one. Liam Reedy's my one this quarter.
He's got 3 votes. You're giving him 3 votes.
No, I was saying
I thought you
big
said
quarter
you were
for
giving
him.
3 votes. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Blues down 2 players on the bench. Collingwood leading by 14 points. Final term underway. Darcy Cameron wins down the tap. Ed Allen kicks up towards half forward. To go, he can't take the mark. Anderson gathers. Hand pass chopped off by Sam Walsh. She's tackled by Ed Allen, and the umpire will ball it up. It's centre half forward. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Some of the bizarre injuries we've heard. Ollie Wines injured himself water skiing and missed a few games. That's from Michael. Good suggestion. Pies can't bust it clear initially, but Darcy Cameron gathers it off the deck, kicks inside 50. McStay led to the footy by Harry Dean. It ricochets off him, and Lord gathers, sends the Blues to half back. Cripps takes the mark, kicks up the wing. Was Hayward impeded? He wasn't. Umpire waves play on as Maynard made the spoil. Nick Dacos runs onto it, kicks to Anderson at right half forward. And,
no, it's going
hang
back.
on. The umpire has called a free kick to Paddy Cripps. It's coming back.
Certainly wasn't the umpire that was. That's a delay of seconds.
So Paddy Cripps does have the free kick. He works his way around Maynard on the mark and then puts a fair bit on his kick to get it inside forward. 50, Cameron in front. Couple of hands to it. Will we pay the mark?
It's inevitable that's going to happen. Cameron will take up. He is one of the best in the competition at getting in line with the kicker and the goals and just reads it. This is where McGovern has got to bring the ball to ground.
Darcy Cameron for the Pies can kick it out near the boundary line. Looking for Lipinski through his hands. Haynes is there to gather for the Blues. Hand pass to Smith, hand pass to Reedy. Flicks it across to Cripps, whose hand pass doesn't hit Walsh. Allows it in for Josh Dacos and the Pies, who's able to hand pass it away towards Allen, who takes it and hand passes it to DeGoey. Flicks it out wide to centre wing. McCreary marks.
He looks up, 1-on-1's inside 50. The deepest of which is West in from the side. Dean's able to support Dirksen. Ricochets out towards the boundary line. Florent keeps it alive. Hand pass to Jagger Smith. The young Blue looks up and has Ben Ainsworth at half back, and he takes the mark.
And look where Cameron is right now. He makes you nervous of where to go. This has to be. He gets straight.
Ainsworth tries to get it to McGovern, nudged underneath it by Puncher, who takes the mark, leaning back.
Yeah, good play.
Tell that to the ATO.
Yes.
If he didn't mark it, was Cameron was going to, because they were both in line with the kick.
Yeah, and that'll be the challenge as well for Liam Reedy in just his 7th game of AFL footy. How much petrol's in the tank? The 26-year-old. This Puncher kicks laterally to Quainer, left half back, sends it up the wing. West in front takes the mark. To the frustration of Dirksen, who couldn't get a hand in there. Sends it into the pocket, into the direction of Anderson. Haynes dropped the mark. Florent cleans it up for the Blues. In the back pocket, runs a fair way. Squeeze the kick up the wing. Ainsworth, great one-handed pickup. He gathers it right half back. Kicks up to McGovern. He marks centre wing.
McGovern waits, then hand passes to Ainsworth. Running along on his right. Runs all the way up to right half forward. Centres the kick. Looking for Smith. Just couldn't take the mark. Spills down to Cottrell though. Hand pass to Cripps. 45 metres out from goal. Sprays the kick off to the right. Out of bounds on the full. The cheering's from the Collingwood fans. And there's no change to the score. It stays the same as it was at three-quarter time after 3.5 minutes played in the third. Collingwood is ahead by 14 points.
Well, they'll stay that way, if not increase it, unless Carlton lower the eyes in the forward line. At the moment, they're really just banging in. They've gone in just trying to get this quarter, but they certainly haven't done themselves any favour by trying to find forwards.
Houston over the top to Josh Dacos.
3 times they've gone in for, I don't think, a score.
Nick Dacos got it from DeGoey, sends it out to Steele Sidebottom. He takes the mark at left half back. Collingwood by 14 points. Quainer runs into space, takes the mark from the kick. Hand pass to DeGoey. Hugs the boundary line with a kick to West. He marks just inside the field of play at left half forward. Tries to centre, looking for Harrison on the move. Walsh spores it away. Still alive for Collingwood. Ed Allen tries to knock it on. Dean slides in for the Blues. Hand pass away to Dirksen in 2 minds. Got the hand pass to Florent. His problem under pressure. Hand pass to Haynes. He's cannoned into by McCreary. Just controlled his kick to Billy Wilson, who marks still inside the defensive 50. The pressure is rising.
Wilson takes his kick, looking for Cottrell.
They're out in their legs, Carlton. You can just see it. A lot of walking, They look exhausted.
Still in defensive 50. Matthew Cottrell.
I can't see how you can be, Kel, with all due respect. It's only two players. You're not... You can still move... Like Paddy Cripps, he can play centre and he can go and play full forward. That's not going to sap him.
Florent moves the kick on to Paddy Cripps, who kicks inside forward 50, where there's a Carlton mark. Brody Kemp clunks it, and Carlton has a set shot coming up on goal directly in front. He'll kick from about 45 metres out, Brody Kemp.
Yeah, well, he can do that, Kemp. He's got a very good leap. There's no body on him. It's almost a free ride, and he was able to get that. Just a little bit of separation. But that's Paddy Cripps getting the ball through the corridor.
No option other than to kick this Brody Kemp, his side down by 14 points. Early stages of the final term. It's across the face and through for a minor score. Just the margin cut back by 1. Collingwood ahead by 13 points. Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Yeah, Isaac Quainer's in the hands of the doctors for Collingwood. They're looking at his right forearm or wrist at the moment. So he's just having a little bit of treatment, and they're just having a look at that, doing some tests on that now. He looks in a lot of pain.
Thanks, Poppy. Dan Houston turns it over for Collingwood from half-back. Ollie Florent takes the mark for the Blues. Looks up inside 50. Runs his full measure. Tries to drive it into the pocket. McGovern flies from behind. Taylor Byrne did something. Creatively kept it alive. Hand pass to Hayward. Can't get it to Kemp. Goes out of play in the left forward pocket. The Blues are asking the question. They just need someone to seize the moment other than Patrick Cripps at the moment. Captain trying to lead the charge.
Yeah, he's had 5 already. Florence had 5, and he's running the ball well, Florent. Break the line, take them on, particularly when you're trailing by 3 shots. So you've got to make something happen now.
Need someone inside 50. Reedy wins down the tap against Darcy Cameron. Sidebottom through the arms back. Tackled, didn't have possession. No free kick. Now Walsh tackled. He's dumped in a tackle by Perryman. Umpire lets it go for a few moments, and then we'll pull it up in the left forward pocket. Marcus in South Melbourne says Sean McManus was officially listed as out with shark bite. That was at Fremantle. Apparently 0437 774 774.
Smith comes barging through to take the ball, and he's taken down to the turf. Another ball up, 35 metres out from Carlton goal. Quickly down to Poppy on the boundary.
Yeah, Blake Acres is in a bit of pain too. Looks like he's got a bit of a corky, so they might be down to 2 on the bench at Carlton.
So Reedy gets the tap out across to Hewitt. He moves on to Evans, gets taken in a tackle by Maynard holding the footy. Collingwood free, and Maynard wins it, hand passes it to DeGoey, who's able to clear it out of defensive 50. Looking for Houston, McGovern gets back and is able to punch it away and force a neutral ball, and a ball in just between wing and half forward for the Blues. There's a few celebrating that spoil. Walsh is in there as McGovern goes back to his forward line position. Collingwood ahead by 13.
In Perth, Brisbane have closed the lead to 3 points the Eagles' way, 6-6-42 to the Lions, 5-9-39. We'll take you there at the completion of this game. Cameron sharks it down for Collingwood. Gathered by Jack Chris, kicks up the wing. West had it spoiled away. Well done by Dirksen. Volleyed out of fresh air by Wilson up towards half forward. Free kick going the Blues' way. Reedy's going to take it. Veers out to the left. Looks into the pocket. Has Hayward in from the side. It's spoiled away by Puncher. Crisp gets back for Collingwood. Out past to Puncher to Nick Dacos. Out boundary side to Maynard. From left half back. Kicks the Pies up the wing. Membry leads up. Presents. Can't take the mark. Gets to the back. McCreary trying to sock it off the ground. Missed. Membry does though. He's chopped off by Sam Walsh. Gets the half pass to Cowan. Tackle just got it away at the last moment. Back to Walsh. Kicks a high ball up there. No one really there but Frankie Evans. Did well to compete against Darcy Cameron. Gave away a free kick for over the shoulder. Nick Dacos takes the advantage. Kicks up to DeGoey. Collingwood free kick advantage taken. DeGoey inside 50. Membry into the pocket. Running back with a flight. A few whistles there as Membry tries to send it to Houston. Jagger Smith makes the spoil. Didn't give away the free kick. Yes, he did. Front on contact. Players don't realise.
That's not a free kick. That is brave. That is really brave by young Smith.
Now, eventually, the umpire in the left forward pocket has his decision realised, and it will be a free kick to Dan Houston.
Yeah, well, I'll dispute that one because I just think that both players went for it. Smith did turn his back, but he watched the ball all the way from I haven't seen the replay of this.
There you go. So Jagger Smith running in, makes front on contact. He's back to
with the ball.
The ball, I guess.
With the ball.
So one of those scenarios you've got to actually make contact with the ball, otherwise you're most likely just to give away a free kick. Houston looking for the first goal of the final term. He makes the most of his opportunity. The running half-back strikes first for Collingwood, and they extend the lead to 19 points, 12-4-76 to Carlton, 8-9-57. The Pies by 19 points. Mick Malthouse and Cal Sinclair with you on ABC Sport.
Well, I know Cal agrees with me about this. The momentum shifted probably halfway through the third quarter. Carlton had it all. Collingwood took it off them and really hasn't released that pressure. So under that circumstances, when you're chasing, what are we chasing? A couple of goals and the momentum's still in the hands of the leader, then there has to be something extraordinary take place. Paddy Cripps has tried to lift. Walsh has tried to lift. He's only had the 2 positions this quarter so far. Young Smith, can't keep blaming him. It's the bottom half of the list. Akers, Newman, Hewitt, Cow, and these sort of players have got to lift. Otherwise, this game, it's all going to be left up to too few.
A free kick inside the centre circles. Collingwood plays on. Pendlebury puts the kick into the top of the 50. Cowan takes it and takes the tackle. Ball up 48 metres out from Collingwood's goal. Now leading by 19 points. A game high at the MCG tonight. Crisp takes it, hand passes it to Cameron. Just skies the footy up. Anderson can't take the mark. Haynes is there. Finds a gap to put the ball outside of 50. It'll be coming right back in there as it's Swaddling that picks it up for the Pies. Hand passes it to Perryman. He slips over. Underground hand pass will still find Membry. Hand passes back to Perryman, who stood up, takes his kick, centering ball inside the 50 into the centre, and there's a free kick. And it'll be a Collingwood free kick.
Yeah, that's a pressure going. Ball comes in, smack bang, 35, 40 metres out from goal. Not knowing how to handle that occasion. You don't say Anderson by any stretch of imagination has got a lot of experience. What he did, he played it well. He played in front and was manhandled prior to that ball coming in. So it's a free kick every day of the week.
So Florent just tugging at the arm there on Anderson. And it means Angus Anderson will have his set shot from right in front of goals, 45 metres out. His kick is straight. And it's straight and through for Collingwood. And it makes things very difficult for Carlton from now. Collingwood's lead, 25 points, 13-4-82. Carlton, 8-9-57. Angus Anderson gets his name on the scoreboard this evening for the Pies. 12 minutes played in the final term. It's 25 points, Collingwood's lead.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching Angus Anderson come and play for the Pies. Played a little bit with him at the Swans, where he's in that sort of academy program, kind of finding his way. But when he does get the ball, he actually doesn't waste a lot of possessions. He's going at 100% tonight. He only had the 10-possession game, but plays a pretty difficult role, Mick. Like the high half forward, only gets a couple of reps in the midfield. Probably starts on the bench a lot of the quarters as well. So
he's
goals like that, so goals like that for him are very important to capitalise and take the opportunity to stay inside.
6 of the last 7 goals of the game have gone Collingwood's way. Makes it half for the Blues. But Jagger Smith dodging and weaving out of the middle. Kicks long towards full forward. Kemp had it spoiled away from him by Frampton. Running onto it Ainsworth in the right forward pocket. Long centering kick. Swaddling's outnumbered. Clears Cottrell and Taylor Byrne. Goes out of play in the left forward pocket for the Blues.
There's a future for Carlton. Smith out of the centre. That was brilliant by young Smith. For a kid that's come off a full reconstructed knee, believe me, watching players come back, it takes another 12 months to get your confidence. He's been fantastic.
The Blues down 2 on the bench. Harry Mackay after 10 minutes. Adam Chera after half-time. Spills out to Patrick Cripps from the throw-in. Takes a shot on goal. He hasn't given up. The Carlton captain puts through his second goal of the match. And they're going to need a bit of luck to try and get there. The margin is back to 19 points. Collingwood 13-4-82 to Carlton 9-9-63. In the absence of a dominant forward, Patrick Cripps is trying to do everything he can. Something out of nothing in the left forward pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're spot on. That was a brilliant. But it was a good contest, really good contest. Spoilt wide. Cripps was wide, so whether he just fluked where he was at, but that was the correct thing to do while the Collingwood player was to smash it wide. Paddy Cripps was good enough to collect it in one touch and kick it over his shoulder for a very, very valuable goal.
His turnaround in form this year has been very impressive. I'm not sure what happened the first half with Van der Vossi, but he's been superb.
And Carlton make it 2 in a row. Jagger Smith takes it, hand passes it away, and he's able to find Lord, who moves it across to Reedy. Kick inside forward, 50. Frampton sliding in. He's able to take the mark. And he'll have it for the Pies. Looks right, then looks left, then goes back right for Collingwood. Looking for Perryman. Akers had front position on him. He's able to just break it up. Newman takes it. Then he's tackled, and there'll be a ball up at half forward for Carlton. Collingwood ahead by 19 points. Just 15 minutes played in this final term. Plenty of time if Carlton is able to snag one soon.
Lions have got a wriggle on in the west. They've kicked a couple of quick goals. The clearing kick for the Blues, chopped off by Swaddling. Hand pass to Ed Allen, had to give it over his head. Chopped off by Jagger Smith, gave it straight back to Swaddling. Kicks the Collingwood side in the middle of the ground, end over end. McGovern's back behind the ball. Hand pass to Cowan, looks into the middle of the ground. Cottrell takes the mark, dragged down by Josh Dacos.
Too much wide stuff here, though, Carlton.
Yeah, no 50-metre penalty, so he tries to drive it long in the direction of Kemp. Frampton leads him into the footy once more. Byrne tries to knock it clear. Pendlebury gathers for Collingwood. Hand pass to Perryman. Through the middle of the ground, kick a turnover, straight to Akers.
Akers puts it on his boot and will pop it to a hot spot forming inside forward, 50.
He didn't need to rush there, guys. Like, he did not need to rush. He got the repeat inside 50.
But it's just banging it.
Yeah.
It's the same type of player. Carlton's last 6... bottom 6 players, in all due respect to them, I don't need to name them, but they get and kick and think it's all over. But all they do is mount the pressure up. Those kicks are going directly where Collingwood want if you're going to filter it in, to Frampton or to Cameron.
Got the 50 as well. Frampton, after the ball was knocked out of his hands, took it and kicked it to Crisp, who then centred the footy to Houston. He moved it out to Long at left half forward for the Pies. Little chip kick to Lipinski, and he's holding on to the footy 55 metres out from goal for Collingwood. 19 points the Pies advantage. He chips inboard to Quaynor. So the Pies holding on to the footy here, Long with a short lead. Instead, Quaynor will kick it to the left forward pocket. It'll sit nearly for West. Couldn't take the mark. Membry comes in, takes it, hand passes it away. And it's Harrison who holds on to it for Collingwood. He's happy to take the tackle because there'll be a ball up right in front of Collingwood goal, in front of the Collingwood goal. Collingwood ahead by 19.
Now, Darcy Cameron's gone to the bench, so Reedy has as well. Let's stay into the ruck. Cripps is going to do the ruck work for Carlton. Tap down the way of George Hewitt, who sockers it up. Jack Crisp tries to knock it out for Collingwood. Got it to Membry. Houston's kick is smothered. Swaddling at the 50. Tries to knock it away. Tackled by Cottrell. Ed Allen takes back possession for Collingwood. Missed the target in Josh Dacos. Races back after it. In the middle of the G. Gives it to Frampton. Pulls his kick looking for Pendlebury. Back with a flight. Knocked away by Haywood. Careful not to give away the free kick. Kicks in the middle of the ground. Kemp, big ball to be won. Puncher gets it down. Quaynor front and centre gathers for Collingwood. Numbers win out. Hand pass to Josh Dacos. Flares it out to the southern side of the ground where Perryman can take the mark.
Just kicks forward to Harrison. Harvey Harrison will mark. And then go defensively back to Perryman.
Smart play by Collingwood, because they'll keep keeping these off until they find their way through. And then just about with Pendlebury, particularly with Pendlebury with the ball in the hand, he'll slow it down to the point where
you won't realise time's passing.
No, well, look, no one's going to him. He's sat, I reckon, 15 seconds with the football. And that's it's smart play. You're leading by 20-odd points or thereabouts.
Shoot up about 45 seconds and haven't left centre wing as Nick Dacos takes it, chips it across to Pendlebury. His hand pass doesn't quite get to Nick Dacos. There's a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, he's going to be shot from goal 15 metres out, so... just smart play by Scott Pendlebury.
So a 50-metre penalty. We'll see Collingwood have a set shot at goal, and Scott Pendlebury as well from...
Was it 50 metres, you reckon, Kel? Did he play on?
No, he
made out he's going to play on?
He didn't deviate.
Isn't that play on?
No, he didn't deviate. He actually didn't even... The ball didn't even release his hand.
Well, that's fair enough.
Actually made,
fair enough. It's 50 metres.
So man on the mark, 35 metres out. Scott Pendlebury coming in to ice the game for the Magpies. puts his shot towards goal and puts it offline to the left. So Collingwood's lead, 20 points, 13-5-83. Carlton 9-9-63, 19 minutes played in the final term here at the MCG.
Crowd posted at 83,885 in. Another great turning from the Carlton and Collingwood fans. Cowan trying to get some run across half back. Kicks up the wing. Taylor Byrne takes the mark. He looks inboard to Ainsworth. So got it between wing and half forward on the southern side of the MCG. Some run from Taylor Byrne behind the ball. Tries to generate something. Then kicks it long inside. 50. Juggling effort. Not claimed in the end. Jackson had a big piece of it. And the Carlton players gesturing that they thought he had enough to be paid the mark. The umpire didn't agree.
Good decision. Got to control it. He did, but he didn't. So that's good decision. You've got to bring the ball to ground.
So Josh Fraser has thrown Dirksen from the back line to the forward line. Houston takes it off hands from the ball up. Perryman hasn't got it. Trying to knock it away. It's gathered by Ned Long. Kicks Collingwood to half back. Cowan went back with the flight. Crashed into his own teammate Cottrell. Nick Dacos takes it. Gets the half pass away to Harrison. Kicks up the wing for Collingwood. West kept his footing when Haynes slipped over.
He wants to move it on to Nick Dacos quickly, who hand passes it to Lipinski at right half forward for the Pies. Puts the footy in the centre of the attacking 50. Angus Anderson read it and was leading into the space. He clunks the mark and gets some high fives from his teammates as well as he lines up for a set shot on goal.
Yeah, difference, one end to the other, one-on-one. Carlton really, and in all honesty, just have players that aren't up to the same level as the Collingwood opponents. And there's a classical case. That ball was coming in as an even ball. And Anderson just took the front position. His backline player went behind him, slipped, all over.
And Charlie West as well.
And West.
Yeah.
Angus Anderson for a game-high lead for Collingwood. Slams it into the right goalpost. And just a minor score for Angry Anderson. Collingwood ahead by 21 minutes played in the final term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Brisbane are leading the West Coast Eagles by 9 points over in the West. The Eagles led to half-time. George Hewitt gathers on the wing, members side. Now that came off Isaac Quayner's boot, so it will be a Carlton free kick, and Brody Kemp's away to that, so quickly races after the footy. Collingwood by 21 points. Kemp comes inboard. Wilson takes the mark for the Blues. Billy Wilson looks up inside 50. Cripps is the deepest target. McStay's gone back. He makes the spoil. And ricochets out towards Kemp. Tackled by Long and Josh Dacos. And the umpire will ball it up. So Nick Dacos leads the way with 33 disposals, 9 score involvements. Paddy Cripps, the leading disposal getter, with 28 for the Blues.
Tossed up, and it's McStay who's able to palm it down against Akers, who is in the ruck for the Blues at the moment. Then Akers does the tackling on Anderson, still gets a hand pass away straight to Walsh. He's taken to the turf by DeGoey, and there'll be a ball up at centre wing. Broadcast side of the ground, Collingwood ahead by 21 points, looking for their 5th win in a row and their 6th consecutive victory against Carlton tonight. Tossed up, Cameron palms it down, Chris takes it, hand pass to DeGoey, hand pass to Lipinski. He moves it on quickly by hands to Allen, who'll pop the ball inside forward 50 for the Blues. West does well to get a little bit of separation on McGovern. It's McGovern that takes it though, hand passes it to Nick Newman, and he spears a pass down to find Cottrell outer side of the ground, centre wing.
He looks into the middle of the ground. He's got Sam Walsh free. If he can get it to him, he takes the mark. Hand pass around the back to Wilson. Looks up to Jagger Smith. He plays on immediately. Gains 15 metres. Kicks looking for Kemp. Sport away from him by Puncher. Spills to the front. Cripps gathers. Hand pass a little loose for Hewitt. Keeps it alive, trying to get it back to Cripps. Around Cripps. Jack Crisp. The hand pass came to Kemp, who feeds it back to Lord. Centering ball. Cottrell flying in from the side. Takes the mark. He's only about 25 metres out from goal. Slightly right of centre.
Yeah, well done by Carlton to keep the ball in play, particularly through Paddy Cripps. Just saying, we're just talking just behind the scenes here, and we're looking at Nick Dacos' quarter. He's had 8 possessions, and we're looking at, say, Sam Walsh has had 4 possessions.
Matt Cottrell to keep the game alive. He pops it through from 30 metres out, and the margin's back to 15 points Collingwood's way. But the Blues are now racing the Magpies and the clock. 13-6-85 Collingwood, 13-6-84 Collingwood to Carlton 10-9-65. 2 goals apiece in the final term.
So 83,885 885 here at the MCG tonight, a little ahead of the 10,000 more than the 78,058 who came when Collingwood won by 5 points a little earlier on in the season. Round 6 that was. And Collingwood headed towards victory here, unless the Blues can do something at this centre bounce. 24 and a half minutes played in the final term. Carlton have kicked the last 2 goals of the game. 15 points Collingwood's advantage. Tossed up, Cameron taps it down across the long, hand pass to Nick Dacos. Kicks the pass right to centre half forward where Lipinski marks. An absolute dart from Dacos and holds on to it. And then we'll chip it inside forward 50, looking for Long, who's covered plenty of ground. And he hits him on the chest.
Well, that was extraordinary. So I was watching Carlton players in behind the kicker and Collingwood players running through the line into the 50 metres. Is this Ned Long's got the ball?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he ran through and is now standing basically in front of goal, 40 metres out, and Carlton players didn't go with him until the ball was in the air. Far too late.
Ned Long here with a chance to kick his second goal of the night. And for the quick reply to Cottrell's goal down the other end. The roar of the MCG crowd. And now it seems that Collingwood has got an advantage. Carlton won't be able to break. Collingwood ahead by 21 points. Ned Long does kick his second goal of tonight and join the multiple goal kickers for the Pies.
Yeah.
And Collingwood 14-6-90 ahead of Carlton 10-9-69.
Just looking at the footage behind the scenes, we're just watching it, and unfortunately it was on the captain, Paddy Cripps, that Mick highlighted just on some vision we watched, that just the work rate and a bit of youth probably got him.
Well, your obligation is you get the ball gets turned over, get behind the ball to help out.
Yeah.
Not sit back and look. So all his good work comes undone, Paddy.
Craig McRae on the bench knew what it meant. Collingwood out of the middle through Jack Chris. Kicks inside 50. Lipinski tackle. Brought down. The umpire will ball it up 40 metres out from the Collingwood goal. Ned Long had his issues in front of goal before tonight. 3 goals, 12. He's kicked 2 goals tonight. So the Pies looking to hold their spot in the top 10. Lipinski gets the hand pass to McCreary. They might not be done with yet. Kicks looking for DeGoey. It's just wide of him in the left forward pocket. Hand pass along the boundary line to West, who looks inboard, misses the target, and Jagger Smith takes it back for the Blues. Kicks up to half back. Kemp takes the mark for Carlton.
They can't go forward because their forward line just collapses.
Kemp chips it forward of him and he finds Ainsworth, who marks just forward of centre wing, and he puts the kick into the centre of the MCG towards Florent, who does mark and wants to take the game on. He spears the pass to centre half forward. Walsh marks, hand passes it to Jagger Smith, trying to find a way inside forward. 50, chip kick towards Evans. It wasn't 15. He's dived on top of. And there'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for the Blues. You can hear the Collingwood chant around the MCG. Pies ahead by 21 points. Late stages of this game. Reedy taps it down. Smith hasn't stopped trying all day. Skies the footy. Plenty of players surround it. Frampton's in there for the Pies. Ball brought to ground. Everyone dives on top of the ball again. Holds it up. And it's locked up inside forward 50 for Collingwood. For Carlton, rather. Collingwood ahead by 21 points. 83,885 at the G.
Collingwood fans sensing the end is nigh. Free kick over the shoulder, going the way of the Magpies against Reedy. So it's going to go the way of Darcy Cameron. Liam Reedy in his 8th game of footy. Petrol tank is just about on empty, you get the feeling. Cameron around the back to Nick Dacos. Possession number 36 for the Little Maestro. Kicks up towards half-back. West in from the side. Spoils it away from Cowan and rolls out of play for a boundary throw-in. So Collingwood with victory will move to 10 wins, 7 losses and a draw. They'll move from 9th spot on the ladder up to 7th. With that draw advantage, the top 6 is going to be a hard position to get to, but the side in which is holding everyone out from the wildcard spots. Jagger Smith gathers it right half forward. Hand pass to Hewitt in the right forward pocket. Tackled by McCreary. Spills off Florent, goes out of play in the right forward pocket for the Blues.
So throw in to come inside forward 50 for Carlton. Collingwood's lead now out to 21 points. It's flicked in. Cameron in the ruck, wins it against Reedy, palms it down, socket away by Hewitt. Picked up by McCreary, though, who can fling the ball all the way out to centre wing. And the Magpies fans at the MCG celebrate. 5 wins in a row for the Pies, and they're well and truly in the fight for finals.
They know how to play the game. Side by side, they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades show. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
In the Heritage jumper tonight against the old foe Carlton, it's Collingwood winning its 6th consecutive game against the Blues. They led at every change at 2 points at the end of quarter time. At halftime, they were up by 8 points. By the end of three-quarter time, they'd worked their way to an advantage of 14 points after some opportunistic goals. And then by the very end of the match, it was out to 21 points for the Pies. 3 goals to Tim Membry leading the way. Bo McCreary and Ned Long, also multiple goal kickers, along with Dan McStay for Collingwood.
Side by side, they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades show. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
Collingwood winners 14-6, 90. Carlton 10-9, 69. The Blues' second loss in a row in front of 83,885 fans. A couple of injury concerns for the Blues as well. Harry Mackay didn't play much of the game before he copped a knock to his left knee and was ruled out of the match. And Adam Chera with a hammy injury also out in the third quarter for Carlton. The goal kickers tonight for Collingwood, it was 3 to Tim Membry, 2 to Bo McCreary, 2 to Ned Long and 2 to Dan McStay. Then singles to DeGoey, Houston, West, Swadling and Anderson. Well, for Carlton, 2 goals to Mitch McGovern, 2 to Paddy Cripps, and then singles to Smith, Ainsworth, Kemp, Walsh and Cottrell. But Collingwood, 21 points, 5th win in a row following their bye. They haven't lost, Clinchy.
They get the bragging rights and the spot in the top 10 tonight. Collingwood winners by 21 points. The thoughts of Cal Sinclair and Mick Malthouse with you on ABC Sport.
Well, that was a hard one, Mick, to be honest, to sort of judge. To Carlton's credit, they came back. They adjusted at times throughout the game, and you sort of felt they had a sniff. There were times where we thought Collingwood were really on the back foot, but I felt out there in that last quarter, they just really ran out of legs, to be honest. It felt like they had a lot more power and drive and covering the ground a lot better. I thought the defence of Frampton was really, really good in the last quarter. He took some really, really strong intercept marks. The start of the game was set up, I really feel, with the key forwards. McStay had kicked 2. Tim Membry had a really good game kicking 3, even though he didn't get a lot of the footy. McCreary's kicked 2. Sam Swallows getting involved. Charlie West, I thought, had a really, really good game. Not a high possession game, but particularly his marks overhead, I thought he was absolutely outstanding for a young player, finding confidence at the level. There were patches from Carlton. We probably felt their method, Mick, throughout the game was you just kind of didn't know how they were playing. And I think that in that towards the back end of that second quarter, they had 3 or 4 opportunities in front of goal that would have been really probably would have propelled them into going into a really strong lead at half time. But I felt probably Membry's second quarter, a couple of goals at ground level. There was another one, not sure who it was, from an unfortunate, pretty powerful spoil from Carlton, but I thought that was a real pivotal moment of the game. Not sure how you saw it.
Oh, I'm with you. This stats are stats. You've got to be very careful. 52 inside 50s each. One scores 19 times, the other scores 20 times. But one scores only 6 points, kicks 14 goals. And they kicked the 14 goals because they're in good position. Very few flukes. There was nothing there going, well, they kicked the goal of the day. They've kicked the goals that should have been kicked from there. Missed 1 or 2 perhaps, like most sides do. But on the other side, you had 10 goals, 9, and we know full well out of that there was probably 3 or 4 that were just butchered. But more importantly, more importantly, the ones that didn't score. And I was amazed at how many times Carlton had the football in a scoring position. Someone either fell over, bubbled it, took the wrong option, one more hand pass, went for a short kick that got in. Even that last batted play. Smith, as good as he is, kicked the ball 10 metres and expected to be paid by the umpire. I'm glad the umpire saw it was only a 10-metre kick. So the option and Paddy Cripps comes out of the centre and goes sideways. Now, there's a thing, well, you've got to look up, and if you can't find a target, then find a target. But the facts were, come out of the centre. So it was 6-6-6. It was always going to be a contest at the very worst if he goes another 10 metres, he kicks the goal or has a shot. I don't still think they would have won the game for it. But that was synonymous with the game, even though Carlton at times looked really good. Just look, it's the bottom six again, and I say this every week, that when you see sides that are not good enough, it's their bottom six that let you down. They get in because of endeavour, or they get in because of injuries, they get in because they're on the list. I don't care how they get in there, and I'm not going to name them because that's unjust and it's unfair. But until those sides can get better value out of that bottom six, I'll go the bottom six of Collingwood. Puncher, very good. Did the thing, and I'll name these six. Anderson, really effective, really effective. And Billy Frampton in stats, and I don't see him as the bottom six, so I won't count him. I've done something to my earplug here. Swaddling, yeah, I reckon he's the same.
Finding his way, yeah.
Ned Long's another one. Ned Long's in, out, doesn't always get the games he wants, but did the job that was needed. And can I just repeat what I said? What did I say before half-time about McStave? He kicks 5, they win by 10.
Yeah.
He kicks 2,
but
they win by 21.
He was injured at quarter time, was he?
He didn't finish out the game, no, I don't think.
He had 3 possessions, 3 kicks. Lauren, 3 kicks.
After half-time.
No, for the game. So
yeah, McStave, 3.
McStave. So he's had 3 kicks. So
it started with a flurry with 2 goals in the first quarter.
Yeah. So he's in their bottom 6 at the moment, in my opinion. But he still kicks 2 goals. He's effective.
He had 1 kick after half-time.
Yeah, but he rucked okay. So the double ruck really got Carlton because they ended up having a non-ruckman ruck. So
another one to mention would be Charlie West. I thought, I thought he was quite good overhead tonight. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah,
so the Pies, strong form continues. Mick, a 21-point win over Carlton, but their depth is being tested at the moment. Let's join the winners with Poppy Penny.
Yeah, they're coming into the rooms now, getting a massive round of applause from friends and family. Isaac Quaynor and Nick Dacos, and Josh Dacos leading them in to a pretty raucous crowd, which I'm pretty sure you can hear in the background. Darcy Cameron is just grabbing his tiny baby, which looks even smaller because obviously he's not a small man himself. So he's got his tiny baby, which could only be a few months old, I think. And I reckon this might be, whilst a very excited rendition of the song, maybe a little bit of a quiet one because we do have little ones in the circle. There are a couple of other kids joining in here as well at the Collingwood Circle, and we're just getting ready to sing the song. I think it will be a quieter rendition. Might be, but the bub did very well. No tears over there. So a very successful rendition. Lots of kids in the circle and a win for Collingwood tonight, which keeps them in the hunt for that wildcard slot.
Thanks, Poppy. A 5th consecutive win for the Magpies. They're 6th against the Blues. 21-point winners tonight. And they jump from 9th on the AFL ladder to 7th. So they're holding the wildcard spots at the moment. And they are beating the teams below them. The challenge will be for Craig McRae's side in the weeks to come. Can they beat any of the teams above them? We'll bring you some reaction from the Collingwood rooms shortly. We're going to take you over to Perth for the closing stages of the game between the West Coast Eagles and the Brisbane Lions. The Lions have moved clear 10-11-71 to the Eagles 8-7-55. We'll also bring you the votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year. But maybe just some final thoughts from Mick and Cal as to what made Collingwood just that little bit better than the Blues tonight.
Yeah, I think probably Harry Mackay going down early didn't help the situation. You probably just felt like they had a lot of repeat inside 50s, particularly earlier in the game, and they had this strategy of sort of going long to the top of the square, which actually wasn't working. So they didn't adjust for that. Look, they weren't horrible, Carlton. They just couldn't capitalise. Look, you could argue that in that third quarter, they definitely had a crack, Mick. I think their defence held up pretty well by Harry Dean with two massive spalls that just got shoved down Tim Membry's throat, to be honest, and he just took his opportunities in front of goal. But it's a really good point from Mick. Like, the bottom six is really, really important from any side, and I think for Collingwood, look, they've got a bit to play for now. Collingwood, probably 3-4 weeks ago, we're probably sitting there going, what does the next kind of couple of years sort of look like? But now they're in contention. Like, they can still compete with the best. Whether or not it's very, very tough to win it from their situation. You need a lot to go right. But, it's still got Darcy Moore to, come back. I'm not too sure how. He's not coming back, is he?
No, I don't think he's come back.
Well, there goes my knowledge. Yeah. Should be
Jeremy Howe, maybe. But they certainly have some troops who won't feature. Jamie Elliott, obviously, season done. And Lockie Schultz hoping to come back in a couple of weeks. What about for the Blues fans, Mick? How do they leave the G tonight?
Very disappointed. They'll be really disappointed. It's the old one created through white collar, blue collar, suburbs not far distant, the old VFL, and they love to hate each other, especially the supporters. I think the players have sort of, because they don't no longer sort of come from the backyard, come from all over the place, they're not as entrenched in that, but it rubs off, and I know how the supporters feel about it. And Carlton would have fancied themselves. They've had the 7 wins. They lost last week badly, but that was, we could say, well, it's a hiccup. We're back in business. But their work ethic, and I think we saw this, Cal, on a few occasions, and Collingwood can cut you apart with that speed, particularly with Dacos.
Yeah.
And too often we saw the ball enter the Collingwood forward line and runners just stream in, and the Carlton midfield were just so slow to react, or just reacted they reacted slowly to the point where they were pointing at other players to pick up their players on the way through. And the classical one was the last one that went in there was Ned Long. He stood at centre-half forward for about a second, and that's 10 metres in my book, and the ball was kicked in the air, and he marked that so clearly before his opponent got there, which was Paddy Cripps. So do we blame Paddy Cripps? Maybe we just blame the midfield in general, but they couldn't get there. I totally agree that, and I think the inexperience also, Collingwood will say, well, we had a lot of young players too, but you've got a young, inexperienced ruckman for a start off.
Yep.
You lose your big key forward. That doesn't help because no one else really was prepared down there to take. And McGovern, I know I have a go at him, but he's good at times, but he's poor too often.
He's got to bring more to the table, especially in the absence of Charlie Curnow, who left at season's end, and Harry Mackay.
You put him down back.
Was out for the game. Well,
like
at the end,
he's still got to put a forward in.
They need someone to play forward.
I mean, soccer's overall, you look at World Cup, if you don't have a striker, you have nothing. You can't win.
We're going to run out of time, so we might just hold off Dan Houston, and we'll bring you that interview at the completion of the game between the West Coast Eagles and the Brisbane Lions, because we'll go in there in a few minutes' time. So the votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year, Cal Sinclair.
Yep, Mick handballed me the duties, but one vote. I'm going with Darcy Cameron here. It's actually, Mick, you would agree, it's pretty hard to pick a top 3 for tonight, but I reckon he was pretty good today. He really tested a young ruckman. He had 18 possessions, 39 hit-outs, and he had 8 clearances, which I really thought that he was really strong. And one thing I really liked about his game, he got back and helped out his defence all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. So his defence would absolutely love him.
One of the best.
Number 2, and I will probably a little bit critical of him at times, but you probably can't deny him, Nick Dacos. I'm putting him in to 2 votes, really just because he had 36. He corrected in, he really took advantage of his possessions and got himself up to 75% kicking efficiency. I really felt in the last quarter, Nick Dacos we put a little a contest between him and Walsh, and he was the one that really, really took over. So 2 votes for him. And 3 votes, I thought Paddy Cripps, look, had a very, very good game. He had 30 possessions, 2 goals, 6 clearances, 6 tackles. He had 7 score involvements as well. So had an unfortunate error towards the back end of the game, getting exposed defensively. But I thought overall his performance was pretty good.
So 3 to Cripps, 2 to Nick Dacos, 1 to Darcy Cameron, and the ABC Footballer of the Year from Cal Sinclair. So I guess the challenge for Collingwood is that the opponents are going to get better in the next couple of weeks, and can they rise to the challenge that will take place? So Collingwood next week, all of a sudden they turn their attention to Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval next Thursday night. So the Crows have moved into the top 4. Brisbane, if they get victory over the West Coast Eagles, will move into the top 3, and it feels like there's a bit of a gap between the top 4 sides and maybe those that are potentially making up the top 6 and top 10.
Sydney look a bit shaky, and I reckon, to your point, Mick, I reckon it's the bottom 6 for them.
No, I think Dean Cox, he would be saying that.
Yep.
The only thing is, I'm going to harp on this. It's the 8th, the 9th and 10th side, particularly the 10th side, is probably going to end up well short of a 50-50 result.
Yeah.
And it's going to mean a side that's finished 7th, who will finish well above 50%, has to play a side, and then maybe, what if they drop that game and they've worked to get in there? I know that you could say that about the old 8. We used to have 1st versus 8th, but what saved you in there was the top. Even if you lost,
You got your second chance.
You got a second chance unless you were 3rd, but. We're seeing sides, if I can just say, Matt, we're seeing sides that have just been horrible.
Yeah.
I was saying Kilda the other night. They were just dreadfully horrible.
So that run home for Collingwood, Adelaide, Geelong at the MCG on a Thursday night, the West Coast Eagles, Hawthorn and Brisbane. So it doesn't get much tougher than that for the Pies, and potentially maybe only one win there unless they can get a couple against the trend. Well, the Blues, unfortunately, their 7-game winning streak came to a close last weekend. They've now lost 2 on the bounce, and they have the Gold Coast Suns next week. We're going to make our way to Perth. Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Mick, for all your work tonight.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to bring you some reaction from the Collingwood rooms with Poppy Penny, so we'll bring you that at the completion of this game. Thanks to Loz.
Thanks,
We'll hear you again tomorrow at the MCG for the Hawks and the Tigers, but the Eagles 9-7-61, trailing the Brisbane Lions 10-12-72. Let's join our commentary team over in the West, led up by Clint Wilden and Mitch Turner, Chris Waterman and Bo McDonald. We'll chat to you tomorrow from midday for AFL Sunday.
9-7-61 in front of 41,560 fans here at Perth Stadium.
Well, they made the forward 50 stoppage big, the Lions, and as the Moss went to the flame, ball just pops out the back to Levi Ashcroft in the big circle.
Yeah, it's gone from a set shot at one end to bring it under the single digits to a very good goal out of a stoppage at the other end and back out 3 goals.
We'll welcome in our listeners from Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, the Northern Territory. The Collingwood v Carlton game here to Perth Stadium right now. The Lions lead the Eagles by 17 points, 10 minutes into the final term. The Eagles led at quarter time by 15, by 7 at half time. The Lions by 16 at 3/4 time. They've increased that lead by 1 to 17. As the ball is back in the middle here, a free kick going the way of West Coast. Bailey Williams gets it from the ruck. Kicks the ball long inside forward, 50. Shanahan flew, couldn't mark. It spills to the back. Jack Williams dribbling shot on goal, misses to the left. Had more time than he thought, the young Eagle. Margin back to 16 points as the Lions go down the outer side.
They kick towards Leicester, who's been infringed by Waterman.
It was well done by Waterman. They had to slow the play up there.
And running by, Murdoch made a little bit of a connection here with Leicester, but it was okay because he was following Wilmot, so the umpire quite rightly says, let's all just calm down and move it on again. And Leicester moves it short. Opportunity here for Dunkley. He'll kick to a pack at right half forward. Fine mark, rising Hipwood in a pack. It's 2 kicks from goal. Just forward of the wing. Stabs it short onto the chest of Rayner. Mentioned a couple of times. 100 consecutive games tonight for him. Gave it back to Hipwood. Spears it inside forward 50. Onto the chest of Bailey. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post. He'll put boot to ball from no more than 40 out.
Well, it was a much-needed couple of touches by Eric Hipwood. He just they've just got to keep playing him, and he's missed a little bit of footy last year and so forth. So if he can just get his hands on it, he'll be a big bonus come September.
In comes Zach Bailey, 1-1 tonight. Kicks on its way. Misses to the right-hand side. There's still life in this game of football. Brisbane by 17 points, 12 gone in the last. And again, our welcome to some parts of the country who have just joined us here at Perth Stadium.
Starcevic, kick-in duties against his former side. It's long to the wing. Darcy Fort just punches it back inside 50. Bailey was there waiting. Took the ball. Handball to Charlie Cameron. Loops it over the top to Fletcher. While slipping over was the Eagles' Allen. Allowed Tunstall to take it. Handball forward into the right forward pocket. Ashcroft, that was Will. He was knocked off it by McCarthy. He's going to tackle the Eagle. Handball back towards the Lions. Tunstall worked out of bounds. Boundary thrown to come just outside right half forward for the line.
Love that from Darcy Fort, ruck 101. Just punch it back into the 50. It's amazing how many times your teammates will run onto the ball.
I've seen some ugly passages, but that was one of the better ones.
Just repeating, 41,560 here at Perth Stadium for this Saturday night clash. The ball spun back in, off hands, overrunning it, Rayner. Jack Williams for the Eagles tackled, dropped it, free kick Brisbane. Willem Dersma just holding the throat region. He's limping away from this contest a little bit. The Lions have the ball, though. It's a free kick in the hands of Josh Dunkley. Points long, sends it in that direction. Looking for a marking target. Big fly, no one takes it. Bailey at the back, knocked through by McCarthy of the Eagles. Rush behind. Takes the margin to 18 points. 11-14, 80 now Brisbane. West Coast 9-8-62. 14-minute mark approaching in the final turn.
Short kick, had to be precise from Herbert. It was to Hoff. He was under extreme pressure. Up the corridor they went, and they do so again to Franco. We'll move it short once more to Herbert. Sweeping hand pass on to Baker. Heads in the direction of left half forward with a kick. Jack Williams front position, couldn't mark, but he had his arms chopped. And he'll get the free kick here for the Eagles. Against Fletcher. It's moved short again. Here's Murdoch. With the strapping around the head. He come off treatment for a blood rule earlier tonight. Short to the former line. Premiership player with Brisbane in Starcevic. From the middle of the ground, he'll kick towards full forward. Ford dropping back. Took the mark at fullback. And he has it for the Lions. He'll steer it out dangerously. Almost one down by Herbert. Spills it in front of Fletcher. Allows Leicester to pick it up for Brisbane. And he'll move it short to Dunkley. Still the Lions by 18 points. 15 gone in the last.
Quick kick inside to Will Ashcroft. Not 15 called. Immediately took off. Took 3 bounces. Teammate in Jasper Fletcher wanted to give him the handball back. And free kick is going the way of Will Ashcroft. He was held as he was looking to receive it. Another possession for him as he goes laterally inboard. Finds a teammate in Dunkley. Further inboard again to Ainsworth. Now the full switch is on. Comes to the northern side. Out in front of Wilmot. Did well to gather in front of Harley Reid. Picks it up. Kicks inside 50. Morris on the lead. Couldn't mark. Out the back Lohman. Slick handball to Jared Berry. Snap around the body. Middle of the 50. Rayner. Oh, collected. Absolutely poleaxed by Liam Baker. Free kick coming. Baker's not happy. Rayner was juggling the mark and Baker's come through and collected him. Slow-mo replay probably doesn't do justice in just how much force Baker hit him with. It's a free kick to Rayner, 25 metres out, slightest of angles. That's a free kick for sure. He got him high, he did.
Yeah, he jumped. As soon as you jump off the ground, you're in trouble. And Bakes jumped off the ground. And, I mean, it's not the land of the Giants between those two, but got him high.
Cam Rayner. Slow, deliberate approach. This will make it hard for West Coast. He kicks it into the Brisbane cheer squad. And then he talks a bit of trash to Liam Baker. A couple of players from both sides coming to get involved. It's not too spiteful, but Cam Rayner just letting Liam Baker know his thoughts. Two teams slowly separating. Brisbane now out to a 24-point lead. 12-14, 86. the Lions. The Eagles are 9-8-62. 17 minutes gone in the final term. It's Cam Rayner's first goal of the night. The cash photo downstairs.
Just an update from Brisbane on Dane Zorko. He's going to spend the rest of the game off the field, just resting that tight hamstring.
He didn't look comfortable when he came off the last time he ran to the bench, so he's done enough tonight. He's another one they've just got to get minutes into, and when the time's right, give him a spell.
I wonder if he'll be in trouble for that, Baker. Was high. Rayner's stayed out there, but left the ground.
Little fine will do.
Tap one down by Bailey Williams for the Eagles to Yo. Here's Reid bursting away from Will Ashcroft. Got a little bit of assistance. Tackled, wrapped up, holding the ball. Well done, Dunkley. He'll get the free kick. Reid protesting he'd got a hand pass away. Umpire was completely uninterested in that. Dunkley looks out to the right, then looks to the left. There's options on both ways. Decides he'll kick towards the wing on the southern side of Perth Stadium. 2-on-2 battle. Spills down in the direction of Baker off hands. Here's a chance for Young to get a kick away. Deep inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Waterman front position at the back. Gallup, good mark. Defensively for the Lions. Goes to Berry, who marks at right half back. Brisbane, a match-winning lead now. They're out by 24 points. Only 19 gone in the final term. The kick back down the southern wing, and Young takes a good grab for West Coast.
Plays on by a hand to the run of Herbert. Black headband on, kicks down the outer side. Gallup got a fist in there, allowed the ball to spill down to Berry. The line goes up the wing, punched away from Rayner by Herbert. Now it spills back to the Eagle. Handball to Franco, the two mid-season recruits combined. High kick inside forward 50. Jack Williams flies. Big fist from Harris Andrews. Still inside the Eagles 50. Draper pushed Graham off it. Came though to Davis. Out to Duggan. Now to Bailey Williams. Back inside the centre square. Goes wide by hand to McCarthy. Comes to Dersma. Takes the mark 55 metres out. And steps off his line. Kicks into the pocket looking for Yo. Bit too high. Off his hand, out of bounds for a boundary thrown in the right forward pocket. Ashcroft and Neal now both have 30 disposals each. Neal has a goal to go with that. Zach Bailey for the 17th time this season goes past 20 and a goal, 24 and 1 for him. He's done that more than any player in the comp this year, Zach Bailey. The ball's spun back in. Berry, clearing kick for the Lions. Tumbles outside 50. Herbert did very well for the Eagles. Spun out of trouble. Got a handball forward to Franco. Now to Hamish Davis. Tucked on the boundary line. Centering kick inside the 50. Off hands. Draper becomes the rover. Tumbles a kick outside defensive 50. Baker's there. Charlie Cameron's hunting him down. Cameron did beautifully. Knocks it away from him. Umpire said he got him higher.
He's lucky, Bakes.
Oh, he was off to the races, Charlie Cameron.
No stopping Charlie.
I'll give you the tip. Liam Baker was not catching him if he got that ball. Instead, it's a free kick for the Eagles, and he goes laterally. His fellow former Tiger and Graham.
Graham, short to Starcevic. He marks. Too far out to score himself. Probably 65 from goal. He'll put it into the left forward pocket. Big pack up. No mark taken. Spilled at the back. Yo was after it. Going over the top of it again, Cole. Still there to be won. As crashing in from everywhere, including Reid. The Lions are able to get a clearing kick away towards right half back. Young dropped the mark he probably could have taken. Spilled out to Cameron. Moves it on to Lohman. Kicks inside forward 50. There is no one there from either side. Race on into the right forward pocket. Cameron got there first. Socketed it to his own advantage. Gathers it. Can't get away from Young. Great play. Young did not give up. Up against one of the quickest and most dangerous forwards going around. He forced him across the boundary line, deep at right full forward.
How quick is Tyler Young? He got ahead of Charlie Cameron there.
It wasn't just that. He just hung in there. He never gave up.
He's sucking in the big ones right now, though, Tyler Young. He's absolutely gassed. Ball spun in. Herbert, clearing kick for the Eagles. Towards half back. Davis did well up against Levi Ashcroft. Coming through off hands. Graham overran it, then tackled Levi Ashcroft without the ball. Umpire blindsided, though. Calls a ball up. 55 metres out. Just left of centre half forward for Brisbane. Bailey Williams over the Eagles. Tapped it. Straight to Berry. He lost it. Here goes Bo Allen. Stolen for West Coast. Handball forward. Has the run of Cole. Gathers. Kicks long inside forward. 50. Waterman couldn't mark. Terrific work. Well done, Gallup. got back, made the spoil. Free kick, though, going the way of the Eagles. The second man in Andrews. Caught Waterman high, and he'll get the free kick. 25 metres. That was brilliant by Gallup.
It was huge by Gallup. And he did get him a little bit higher, Harris.
Jake Waterman did
Great
well.
Kick. But, he's been a real good... He's made Jake work for everything, this Ty Gallup tonight.
That was terrific by Gallup. Unfortunately, it was his skipper and Harris Andrews who came in late.
It's amazing how that little effort by Gallup. Look at Tyler Young's effort on Charlie Cameron at the other end. Neither of them get a stat, but they're so important just to get... It's a game of inches.
Jake Waterman will go around the body and snap for a handful. He's got 5.
Well, it's a shame because Ty Gallup's played a good game, but his opponent's kicked 5, and that's the sad bit about it.
Yeah, it's a strange old game.
I know, and, you know, we'd say Rhett Bazzo's played pretty well, but Logan Morris has missed 4 gettable goals. He could have had 5, but Rhett's probably going to be in the votes tonight because he's played really well.
That's it.
Jake Waterman up to 40 goals now on the season as well. He kicked 53-23 in his All-Australian year. He's up to 40. The margin's back to 18 points. 23 minutes gone. Still plenty of time for the Eagles if they want to keep kicking goals. This fourth quarter. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Centre bounce is where it's going to be now if the Eagles are going to win this game.
There's still time. And it would take something truly special for it to happen. Umpire tells Rayner and Dersma. That's where he's heading, right behind them. Straper wins the tap, and Rayner's out after it. Gathers for the Lions. Hand passes forward, wanted Bailey. Coming the other way, Starcevic couldn't gather. Rayner does pick it up. Gave it to Neal. Disposal 31 for him. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Young reacted well. Chased it towards the boundary line. Throw in the call. I mentioned Lachie Neal. Since he joined Brisbane from Freo against West Coast, averaged 31 disposals and 8 clearances. Tonight, 31 disposals. He's had 6 clearances.
At 90% too, Clint.
Did say to find a way to stop him. They haven't been able to do so tonight as Draper gathers it and kicks towards goal, diving and just getting a touch on it on the goal line is Young. He's probably had his best game in Eagles colours tonight. That's a great stop right on the goal line. Minor score to the Lions. Their lead goes out to 19 points at the 24-minute mark of the last.
Long kick to the wing. Wilmot dropped the mark. The Lions picked up by Duggan. He's wrapped up. I was going to say the same thing. This is by far Tyler Young's best game. Eagles.
On top of that, he's kept, Hitwood hasn't played a lot of footy, but he's just kept him to the bare minimum.
From the stoppage, it came to Levi Ashcroft, who was caught holding the ball by Harley Reid. Duggan took advantage, and the Eagles dribbling a kick towards a teammate in Davis. He's wrapped up. Ball up to Carlton, just in front of the Lions bench. Bailey Williams to the front, juggled it, took possession, tumbles a kick towards Davis. Handball across to Dersma, tackled by Bailey. He did take him on. Umpire said he got a handball out of the tackle, and it went out of bounds. So either way, it's going to be a free kick to Zach Bailey. Disposal 25 coming up for him. Kicks up the wing, looking for a marking target in Fort. Coming across and copying one across the shoulder was Tom McCarthy of West Coast. They've got to go quick if they want a chance in this game. McCarthy kicks it centrally off the hands, comes through to Cole, trying to tap it towards Baker. Couldn't find him. Lohman now over the top of it in the centre square. He fell on it. Eagles wanted holding the ball. Umpire wasn't going to give them that one. Instead, the ball will be thrown up in the air. Ford on this occasion tapped it straight down though to Harley Reid. Kicks the Eagles inside 50 and taking the mark. Darcy Wilmot in his own 50. Can come to the northern wing where Tunstall drops the mark. Eagles have it back. McCarthy swoops in, picks it up, kicks towards the 50 mark taken by Davis.
Davis decides to pop it into the right forward pocket. Waterman had it. Was he able to complete the mark? Not quite. Spilled away from him as he goes across the boundary line, as does the footy. He hit the turf quite hard, but perhaps a bit of cramp. He gets helped up off the deck. Throwing 25 out from the Eagles attacking goal, city end of the ground. spun in again. Bailey Williams won it down. It went to Reid. Was he taken high by Fort? Yes.
One umpire.
Yep. Took a while for the umpires to decide it. Harley Reid with a chance to have a shot from about 40 out, 45-degree angle to the right.
He's done well, Harley. He spent a lot of time on the bench, and it's his 22nd he's coming up for, and he's had 2 points. He's done what he could with the time he's had on the ground.
Harley Reid, we're right behind this kick, and that is a stinker out to the right. He's missed a minor score. Cuts Brisbane's lead. That's what is now 18 points. Next up for the Eagles, Derby 63 on Friday night. Brisbane have got Port Adelaide on Sunday at the Gabba.
Lions bring the ball back into play. Neal, long kick off hands, spills back to the Eagles. Baker, handball across to Davis. His handball only as far as Levi Ashcroft. Lost it, spills to Will Ashcroft. Back to his brother. Left foot kick up the wing. Couple of Eagles spoil each other. Flying across was Morris, who got a hand in there as well. Spilled down to McCarthy. Off the ball, Bazzo and Morris are going at it as the kick goes inside 50. Big fly, Shanahan. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills to ground level. Bobbling around inside the 50. Genuine scrap on the wing. The ball's going to come back this direction. There's 6 players involved. Ball's going through the middle. It's with Will Ashcroft. Chips it forward. Finds Bailey. He's got a player all by himself. Beautiful kick. Out in stride. Loman marks. Cheeky bounce. Kicks it into the seconds here. Kyle Loman's got 4 goals. A mark of the year contender. And he'll have 4 points for Brisbane as well. Margin out to 24. 13-15, 93 Brisbane. West Coast 10-9, 69. 29 minutes played in the final term. Eagles were brave, West Coast, but they'll ultimately fall short here at Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Red Bazzo and Logan Morris are going to have to shake hands in 30 seconds. They just had a wrestle for 2 minutes on the wing. I don't know why. But anyway, he's done well, Rhett. He's had a really good game. And so's Tyler Young for Brisbane. For West Coast. It's going to get out to about 24 points. We said if it was around the 30 mark. You said 24. Bo, spot on at the moment.
One down by Bailey Williams to Reid in the middle. Came out in the direction of Yo. Just to shovel a hand pass through traffic. Rayner swoops upon it for the Lions. Kick towards left half forward, and Starcevic brings it to ground. He couldn't mark. He'll follow it up before he's tackled by Loman. Wrapped up, not quite. Fort tries to knock it out. Hacked forward here by Levi Ashcroft. Is it kicking in danger? It is. So we'll come back here to be taken by Murdoch. Murdoch will hand pass it forward to McCarthy. They were brave, the Eagles, but the Brisbane Lions far too good when it counted. They win a 6th straight game, and they'll finish the night up into 3rd on the AFL ladder. An 8th straight win for the Lions over West Coast. Brisbane by 24 points. They're starting to get a real roll on now, the Brisbane Lions. 6 straight wins, 13-15-93 over West Coast, 10-9-69. Lions will take the points, but the Eagles, again, this young group, they continue to be valiant in defeat. Brisbane trailed by 15 points at quarter time, by 7 at half time, and then led by 16 at three-quarter time to go on to win by 24. Kai Lohmann booted 4 for Brisbane, 2 to Charlie Cameron, and then singles to Neal, to Ashcroft, to Morris, to Rayner, to McKenna, to Hipwood and to Bailey. While for West Coast, Jake Waterman finished with 5, Job Shanahan with 3, and singles to Dersma and to Murdoch. For Brisbane, a few times in recent times, they've been held to less than 100 points. Nonetheless, surviving a slight scare for a half here in WA. They just continue on. A 12th win of the season for the dual reigning premiers. They know where the line is. They seem to know how to just to gather themselves when the season is coming towards its climax. Brisbane winners here. I mentioned before, they've got Port Adelaide next up, then Carlton, Hawthorn in round 22, and then the Suns and the Magpies to finish their season. What did you make of their efforts tonight? And indeed, for the West Coast fans who again have seen their side, well, they had a red-hot dip, but once again, just not quite polished enough.
Well, Bowie got it smack on, 24 points, and we were hoping around what was meant 60 plus. Don't know where he was tonight, but we were all around the 30 mark. So we got what we hoped for, a really dogged West Coast. And that's how the game panned out. Brisbane will walk away with 4 points, but probably have a bit to work on. West Coast, that's where they're at. They're getting a lot better. They just got to polish up a bit, and that'll take time. God, it was hard. We'll get to the boats later, but I thought Neal and Ashcroft and Dunkley, and then Bailey, who's the part-time midfielder, half forward, and you know Harley's got the most for West Coast, and he spent a quarter on the sidelines. Herbert and McCarthy, good numbers, but from half back. Duggo and a wing, I just think they're going to persist with Duggo out of the back 6. But then you look down the bottom, and Bo Allen's only got the 10, Yoey's only the 9. Jack Ween's a bit disappointing tonight. They were down 1, I guess, with Hutchinson and with Reid for most of it, but too many guys still not getting enough of the ball. But one good bright light for West Coast is Brett Bazzo and Tyler Young. I thought were really good tonight, the key posts, and of course Jake got 5 at the other end, and Job's got his 3, so just needs some more learnings and some more game times into the young blokes, the Dersmas and that, and a bit more grunt through the midfield.
Yeah, look, if I'm a West Coast fan, I'm happy with what I saw tonight. You can see, it's a lot. I haven't called a West Coast game for a while, but that's a completely, almost 12 months. That's a completely different West Coast unit. Their ability to pressure sides is there, and they'll just keep building to be able to do that for long enough. And then on top of that, you can see some real genuine stars, and you spoke about them. Harley Reid's the obvious one. Shanahan up forward is, geez, I hate to see this bloke with another 2 years in the gym and a bit more man strength. He's only a young pup, and he's starting to clunk them already. So he's and you mentioned Rhett Bazzo from Swanee Districts. Great to see him out there, and he played on some good opponents tonight, and
very good,
and brought the ball to ground. So he'll be happy. He'll be happy with that.
You just look at the stats, and I think West Coast clawed back. They had 70 more possessions, Brisbane, which is a lot. They were killing him in inside 50s, but only end up with 9 more. So West Coast ended up climbing up to 49. Tackles, they had a lot more tackles, but maybe because they had the ball. But generally, when you look at all the clearances, are pretty much even. Ground ball gets even. In the contested possession, West Coast fought their way back. So, there's little things that were great. Milan Murdoch did a job on Zorko. Zorko's had 15, and he's been out for a bit, so he's a bit rusty. But Milan needs that sort of effort. He needs something, a good target to have a go at. Kelly was a bit lower. Tim Kelly was a bit lower than himself. He's duffed a couple of kicks. I mean, he's serviceable, but you probably come to expect more from him. Franco proves to be pretty good. Herbert looks like he's lively. Half back, they've just got some. Herbert's got a bad habit of going one-handed, but he looks like a likely type. That's, you got McCarthy, Herbert, and Franco, and unfortunately Hutchison, who did his hammy in the first look before mid-season drafts, are all going okay. That's where West Coast are at. They need some more pressure from younger blokes coming through, but they've got a hell of a lot sitting in the dugout for the rest of the season. So Brisbane, on the other hand, they got plenty to work with, Bo.
Yeah, look, Matty, we spoke about before the game. Who do you sit on? Do you sit on Neil or Ashcroft? And they both got off the chain, but Lockie Neal has had 32 disposals at 91% efficiency.
That's massive. I mean, he's... we were trying to work out, votes here and there because it was a funny old game, but these 3 votes in the Brownlow tonight, he was just outstanding.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Tunstall, I've had a bit to do with Jimmy. 20 possessions, his best game.
Yep.
He's been in and out of the team and just making way for others. And, it looks like, Hipwood they've got to keep going with so they can get him up. There was a few things I'd be couple little concerns with Fags, and he would have walked out tonight a little bit frustrated, but probably breathed a sigh of relief that thank God we've come to the longest trek for the year.
No injuries.
And we got away with it.
Let's head down into the victorious Lions room. Sakash Fodadar is down there for us. Sakash.
Thank you, Clint. The big cheer as the Brisbane players come in, just grabbing their sports drinks on the way in. There's a smattering of supporters down here, but plenty of the staff, of course, making a lot of noise. As you guys mentioned, they didn't have it all their own way, the reigning back-to-back premiers, but they'll be pleased to come here, get the 4 points, and they're just getting in the circle now, ready to belt out the song. It's always a couple of stragglers. Charlie Cameron this time. Just about ready to go here with the Brisbane Lions song.
Lions, we're the Lions, we'll kick that way.